All right, we got Tyler Bendeson in here today. Thank you for coming in, buddy.
Thank you.
You got a lot going on. You got Sunray Wellness. You got the, how do you say the yoga?
Yoga Nidra.
Yoga Nidra. I told you I was going to mess a bunch of it up. And you're on the Kaizen lifestyle.
Kaizen.
Right? Kaizen.
Yes.
These are all big new words, all right? And much more. And plus, the whole situation with Nipsey Hussle and a healer that had gone into court, beat the case in New York. And then Nipsey Hussle was going to do a documentary on him. And oddly enough, both of them are since passed, which we'll get to all that. So to start off, give everybody a little bit of background about you and what you do, and then we'll get into it.
For sure. My name is Tyler Bendeson. My Instagram, kaizenwithtyler. The philosophy of Kaizen is small improvements made every day, leading to huge results over time. And it's something that I've lived by my whole life. I feel like I've always been working towards improving myself, improving my health, my physical body, my relationships. It's definitely something I really live by, first and foremost. I've grown, lived in New York my whole life. Now living here in Miami, Florida. Definitely happy to be here. It's a beautiful place.
I bet you are.
Yeah. What really set me on my journey and my path is something that occurred 7 years ago. And it's very interesting that we're here today based off both of our stories. But 7 years ago, I lost my mother to breast cancer.
Sorry to hear that.
It started as breast cancer, ended up spreading to her brain, her bones, all throughout her body. And it definitely shaped me to who I am today, losing her. But I actually want to not say I didn't lose her, because I didn't. I feel like she's with me here today. In every moment, in my heart, in little circumstances, little situations that take place throughout my day. Like I feel my mother in life. But that's really what got me started on my journey in terms of self-discovery, self-healing. I started to look into the causes behind these diseases that form. I always used to think that like cancer is something you just catch. And it's just like, oh, somebody caught cancer, somebody got this disease. But it wasn't until my mother passed away that I realized the significance between our lifestyle and the diseases that form. And it's just so clear to me, like how we take care of our body now, how we look after ourselves now can save our lives, save our future. We could be as healthy as we choose to be and want to be.
I agree with you 100% because now we weren't here 100 years ago, but you can look in literature. There was nobody really talking about cancer, ADHD, all these names that you never really heard of. And as we get into what you do and what you're about, we both agree or seem to agree that a lot of it's this processed food that's causing a lot of these issues.
Yeah.
Now, where were you 10 years ago? So 10 years ago before, mom, where were you yourself in your mind, physical, 10 years ago?
Eating a sad diet, standard American diet, drinking alcohol, partying, not really looking after my physical vessel. I would still work out, but not really be on the spiritual side of things, taking care of my body, holistic methods, and yeah, just wasting time. I feel like I was numbing myself in a lot of ways,
Was there something within that was eating at you that you were numbing yourself?
I've always, growing up, I just always felt like I didn't belong here in a weird way. Like I always felt like I wasn't at home on Earth. It's like a deep philosophical understanding, but a lot of insecurities, a lot of self-doubt. I always thought I was invisible. What I had to say didn't matter. And I grew up with that. I grew up with being shy, not really talking too much. I know I didn't say my first words until like the age of 6 or something. It was like a while.
Wow.
And I feel like that comes with what I've been led to believe, and what I resonate with is that my mother's mom didn't necessarily treat her the best. And she had a lot of insecurities with that. And even though my mom treated me in the best way ever, she was the best mom ever, some of those insecurities I feel get passed down. And I feel like I came into this life with some trauma, with some insecurities that were passed down, and it was on me to face these and heal it and come face to face with it. And that's what I've been trying to do, heal our family lineage, our DNA. And yeah.
So in other words, kind of like, like they say, like cancer or whatever disease skips a generation. You think maybe what happened with your grandmother, like skipped your mother, but then led to you from genetically? Possibly. Or hereditary in a sense, I guess mentally?
In a way, I feel like giving life to somebody, you're exchanging DNA. And with that DNA, it's also the thought processes and emotions, emotional baggage and trauma that gets passed down. Work with plant medicine has shown me that we're passing down so much information, life energy. So yeah, I believe the DNA, it's encoded in the DNA, but it doesn't mean it's the end all be all. We could always heal it.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, because like you came from your mother, but your mother came from your grandmother and so on and so forth. So I think a lot of times, and just speaking for some people I know, when people look at it, they just look at it, okay, well, she had cancer, he had, a bad knee, so you're going to have bad knees. He was 6'6", so you should be tall. But they don't look at it from the other end of the aspect of how you think, how you act, how you deal with things, because you're still a part of 3,000 years of evolution. I mean, you can't, no matter what you believe, things evolved over time. Yeah. So if you have a kid or when you have a kid, that's the sense of evolution. So it's not like just your genes are going into that boy or girl. It's your mom's and so your dad's and so on and so forth. So, yeah. I mean, I think that's 100%. This podcast is brought to you by Monster Energy. Tear into a can of the meanest energy drink on the planet, Monster Energy. It's the ideal combo of the right ingredients in the right proportion to deliver a big bad buzz that only Monster can. Monster packs a powerful punch, has a smooth, easy drinking flavor. Athletes, musicians, co-eds, road warriors, metalheads, geeks, hipsters, and bikers dig it. You will too. Monster Energy is more than just the green OG. Monster has Monster Ultra, Juice Monster, Monster Hydro, Rehab Monster, Dragon Tea, Monster Max, Muscle Monster, and many more. Buy on Amazon, buy on Walmart, or go to monsterenergy.com and believe me, you'll find a place. Unleash the beast. Monster Energy.
There's something called epigenetics, which is that we're able to influence our own DNA based off our thoughts, based off our actions, how we live our life. We're able to either activate or deactivate certain DNA strands based off of how we live now. So I think nobody should feel limited by their DNA. You could always change it based off your lifestyle now, how you live now. It's never a limitation. You could use it as a blessing. You get to overcome something that maybe your family hasn't addressed for generations and generations. That's the way I look at it.
Right, and you could be that person that addresses it and takes the cat out of the box, and right, because a grudge only hurts yourself.
Yeah,
you're only hurting you by holding a grudge.
Absolutely. I think hate and fear and grudges, those cause a lot of disease in the body. These are powerful emotions.
Well, going back to what you just said, if you think about it, right, stress can kill you, right, and stress is in your mind. Mm-hmm. So basically, your mind can kill you. So if your mind can kill you, then your mind, mathematically, technically, would then be able to also heal you.
Absolutely.
I don't see it just going one way or the other. I've always believed that, but people look at me like I'm fucking nuts when I say it, but I mean, true. If the mind can kill your ass, I'm sure it can heal your ass too.
Yeah, it's 100% right. They say, I'm forgetting the placebo
effect. Yeah.
Like whether or not something is actually taking place, if we believe it's affecting us and helping us and benefiting us, it works. So why not? It just that in itself shows the power of our mind. 100%.
Yeah. I've been to therapy many times, and if you put a pen here, right, but I tell you it's an eraser, If I did that 9 million gazillion times, you eventually would actually believe that this is an eraser. Maybe a stupid point for those that aren't putting it together, but, you know, whatever. Okay, so 10 years ago, you were all over the place, drinking, whatever else. Then, unfortunately, your mom passes. And then you wake up and you kind of snap out of all that and you say, what, I need to live a better life, or I want to get the most out of life. If you could slide through his mom's pics just as a little memorial, and, you know, the day. And beautiful lady, too.
I know. Yeah. They say I have her eyes. That's when I
oh, you definitely have her eyes.
Shaved her head. She was going through chemotherapy.
Yeah.
I remember that day very well.
When was that? How long,
That was I think that was a few months out from her passing.
Still looks happy. Has a smile.
Yeah, this is our whole family. So my mother was originally diagnosed with cancer, I believe 11 or 12 years ago. And she was only given about a few weeks to live. And then we got second diagnosis, second opinions, and then going through radiation and chemo, she was able to survive, you know, for a bit. A few years.
How if you would have listened to that first diagnosis that she only has a first, then they would have just put hospice and done for, right? Yeah. So in other words, the doctor either was just done with it and moving on to the next patient, or who the hell knows, right?
Yeah, it's a crazy situation.
Good for you, though.
Yeah.
But how crazy is that, right? One doctor in the same country with the same medical license, he's a doctor, says a couple weeks. The other doctor says, oh, no, she's got time. Same license. This is your mother we're talking about. I dealt with it too. How fucked up is that?
Yeah, it's...
One guy says 5 weeks to live with my mom. Another guy says, no. Bring her to me. Live 20 years. 22 years. Something like that. Yeah. But, I mean, isn't that like a mind fuck?
Yeah, I mean...
realize how bad it is out there?
Always find people that you resonate with and that have hope. Yeah. You know, always find people that have hope. There's people selling fear I just don't resonate with. I think there's always an opportunity to overcome any challenge, any obstacle, and specifically this, of course, like with cancer and incurable diseases that I know are curable. You know, I see miracles happen every day with the work that I do. So
I know for a fact it's curable too. I know it is. I've seen it with my own eyes, you know, and this little thing here applies to everything, right? Because just like you go to the doctor couple weeks, but that's not really the case. Well, that goes into politics and decisions and everything else. It can all be done. It's the people that don't have an open mind and that give up. But people that don't give up, they fight to the end. And it looks like you had found, as did I, found a doctor that fights, which is how they all should be. Otherwise, don't be a doctor.
Yeah, and I don't blame the people that don't know any better, because it's programming. It's big business to sell whatever they sell, whatever BS it is. You know, it's not on the people. The people just have to be shown a different way. You know,
the training. Yeah. It goes back to training. Go to the next one, Rob.
Yeah, that's my mama right there.
That's mommy, huh?
That's her. Yeah, so 7 years ago, I lost my mother, and then actually within a few months, it was definitely a rock bottom for me, because I was in a relationship for about a year, ended up breaking up with the girl. We broke up. My grandmother passed away as well within like 4 or 5 months. And this just set me on such a journey inwardly of like trying to figure out what life was. Like, what is happening to me? What is life? What is death and life and rebirth, and how do I find any peace? You know, I just wanted to find peace in my heart ultimately. And it was around this time I started doing a lot of meditation. That was really like the beginning of my journey.
How'd you get yourself into that meditative state? I've tried it. I think maybe I got lucky a time or two, but I've seriously tried it. What was your method of where you were able to get into that state? I still don't even really know what is considered the meditation state. Do you? I
mean, you could technically be in a meditation state right now. This could be a meditative practice. Washing the dishes could be meditative. You know, meditation isn't necessarily a destination, but it's a way of being. Like being able to be in control of your body and your emotions and your thoughts and be present. that's what meditation is to me. So I just watched a bunch of spiritual videos, Sadhguru. I was like binge watching Sadhguru, Wayne Dyer, Eckhart Tolle, so many spiritual talks trying to understand how to quiet my mind, because my mind wouldn't stop. They call it the monkey mind, where it's just racing.
I got a monkey mind, buddy.
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah,
we all do, and that's why
mine's active though. Actively, like going on that fucking spinner. What do guinea pigs run on?
Hamster wheel.
Hamster wheel. I'm on a fucking hamster wheel.
I think a lot of us are, and it's finding habits, rituals, practices to help us tap into a meditative state. Breath work helps a lot. I have a very close friend, Devon the Black Airbender, who teaches alchemy breath work. And this is a parasympathetic breathing pattern, breathing system technique that helps you regulate your emotions. Do it consciously, breathing only through the nose. I've had some really amazing results with it, for sure.
So, two things. What did you think of Sadhguru that you read? Like, what was your take from that? And then explain to me how you go about your breathing with that method, because that sounds pretty good.
For sure. So, initially, Sadhguru just opened my eyes to what life is. He talks about how death isn't the end, and different tools and practices to bring more peace and balance into your life. So it definitely changed my thinking. If you could change your thinking, you could change your life. And I started to be open to different ways of being. I would see Sadhguru walking around, and he just seemed so peaceful. Like, he just seemed so at ease, and was able to articulate himself so easily. And it just definitely impacted me in a very deep way. I have deep respect for all the mentors and videos and teachers that I watched, because it made me who I am today, in a very big way. So a lot of respect to Sadhguru and everything that he shares and preaches and that he does.
I thought it was interesting. He's got like 60 million volunteers. Like, some are part-time, some are full-time. And it was really interesting to me the way he explained it. Like, you want that car, you want this house, and you think that that's going to make you full, but that's not going to make you full. It's being within the earth, and people don't realize that. And all this shit that we're doing to the soil, it's thinning the soil. And from, where I'm at in the book is where he's at, where he's saying it's getting so thin, and pretty soon, not far away, like 200 years is not very long. We might not be here, but it's close. It's getting thin. And once one of those links in the chain of life basically break, now there's no soil to grow anything. If there's no soil to grow anything, there's no animals that grow in the ground to eat. There's no plants to grow. What are you going to eat? Like that, everybody's worried about war and all these other things, but that's a pretty serious thing too, because once that, correct me if I'm wrong, because this is your thing, if that goes too far off the map, that's a big thing to bring back.
Yeah, we got to take care of our home. This is our home. Earth is the planet that we're at for the time being. We got to take care of it. So, sustainability as much as we can, being conscious about the impact that we're doing, fossil fuels, whatever. There's a lot of harm that we do to the earth unconsciously. It's not like a lot of us are doing it deliberately, but it's just bringing awareness to it and then seeing what we could do to change, changing our ways to take care of our mother earth. This is the place.
What do you think's worse, the fossil fuels or the batteries? Battery goes into the ground. That can't be good.
Yeah.
Right? And then what, the exhaust goes in the air? I'll take the exhaust in the air if I'm a picking man. What would you take?
I don't know. I'm not too qualified on
believe me, neither am I. There's nobody in this room qualified for that shit. Believe me. All right, so you plead the fifth with that one.
Yeah, I plead the fifth. Plead the fifth.
Okay, so you start trying to find out yourself, and one of the things you did was meditate, but then you also fast. You did the fast diet. Now, when you fast, is that to kind of give yourself a way of discipline, to teach yourself discipline? Is that kind of the purpose behind it?
It's a big part of it. Fasting allows you to tap into your body's innate intelligence and knowledge. I think it's nature's, or God, the universe, whatever you want to call it. It's a gift to us to really tap into our inner process and being. And you see it all throughout nature. When a dog or cat is sick, they naturally fast until they feel better. When a deer breaks a bone, it actually goes on a fast to help repair the ligament.
Really?
So science now is coming out with the benefits behind fasting in a general sense. You know, human growth hormone is boosted like 400% on like a 24-hour water fast. The stem cell repair, it's amazing, you know, but discipline is a big part of it, because a lot of times we eat emotionally. We're just stuffing our body with comfort and feeling something, like
Happy
just numb
foods,
me,
right? Yeah.
to feel good. And there's nothing wrong with that. I love food, but you learn a lot by fasting, and you're able to tap into the more spiritual realms, if you will, like the higher states of awareness and being. I have very deep meditations, fasting, meditations where it's almost as if my mom is talking to me. You know, I feel her presence there as I'm meditating, because you're light and your body's healing. Because if you're just constantly eating, you don't allow your body the chance to properly remove toxins and mucus and inflammation. It's using all its energy to digest. When you could give it a break, it focuses on removing what's been in it for years.
That makes sense, because I go in the sauna every day to get all of the salt and all the crap out of me. So that actually makes it.
Yeah.
How long do you fast for?
I just finished
I'm scared
a
to
full
get the
year.
fucking number on this one.
I did a year, but
a year of fat? What do you mean? I'm not eating?
it was liquid fasting.
Oh.
So having soups.
I was saying, am I seeing a ghost here?
Yeah. Soups, smoothies, teas, juices, and herbs. And the way we liquid fasted was different. So some people might liquid fast without any fiber. I had fiber. I was still having a lot of calories in. It was just in liquid form. And that definitely changed my whole life, changed everything in so many ways. I was able to remove so much inflammation, so much brain fog. I was carrying around so much mental clutter and feelings of unworthiness still. Even though I was meditating 7 years ago, the process doesn't end. Like, healing's always taking place, and there's always things to heal from. But I did the fast for a year that we're doing a documentary on. We're in the process of it. But I try to intermittent fast, like daily.
So when you say intermittent fast daily, what does that mean?
So intermittent fasting is eating in a time window. So the most popular schedule for intermittent fasting is having your first meal at like 11 a.m. and your last meal before 7 p.m. So it's like an 8-hour window.
And then you don't eat for the rest. Yeah, I know a lot of guys do that.
Yeah. So I do that daily. You know, the hours might change, but I always try to incorporate that. There's some basic principles that you can adopt, even if you're not technically fasting, to benefit from like a fasting state, which is just more water, more hydration. A lot of the times we think we're hungry, we're actually just dehydrated. So plenty of hydration is very important. And yeah, that's fasting.
So when you do, like, say, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., now your meal at 7 p.m., is it anything you want, or are you still conscious of what you're eating?
Personally, I'm conscious about it. I live a more alkaline, plant-based lifestyle. So a lot of fruits, vegetables, beans, ancient grains, so like quinoa, teff, fonio.
Fonio's pretty good.
Fonio's great.
Yeah.
Fonio's great.
I didn't know what it was the first couple of times I ate it, but it's actually good.
What is it?
It's an ancient grain.
You wouldn't be able to. You can't really tell it's different than anything
How
else.
do you pronounce it? Fenwa?
Fonio. Fonio. Fonio.
You can explain it, Tyler, because I would explain it like any other grain. It's just, to me, it was more. Because I don't like that processed stuff either,
Yeah.
even though I eat granola bars. But other than that, I don't. it's just the grain seems more older, maybe. I don't know what the right word is. Like it's like you could tell it's like no, like it's come from the ground and it hasn't gone to Tyler, to you, to me, to that. Like you could tell this shit's right off, right out of somewhere.
That's a good way of putting it. And for me, these ancient grains, the alkaline grains, are lighter on the stomach. So rice is very heavy and it's very starchy. Having like a cup of rice as opposed to a cup of quinoa, I feel like digestion-wise, the quinoa is easier. But yeah, I love ancient grains, alkaline living. It depends, for me, I'm particular about it, but anybody could benefit from intermittent fasting. So even if you're a carnivore, even if whatever your lifestyle is, you could add intermittent fasting and the science of fasting regardless. And that's really what we're all about. We're not here to debate about the right type of lifestyle or diet or whatever. We're here to give you the tools and build the bridge to help you with your health regardless.
And then it's really your choice if you want to use them or not, right? Yeah. I had a friend that did that, and at 7 o'clock, 7:30, he would have pizza, a large pizza. But he actually did lose some weight, and he said he felt better. But he would go and he would run and work out and everything. 11, I think his hours were different, but it was more like 1 to 11. He wouldn't eat anything, nothing. Then 11 o'clock, he fucking ordered pizzas. But he did lose weight. The fat guy, I mean, the heavier set guy, he did lose weight.
They say,
you should have seen it. Tyler, you would have died. I mean, we're sitting in there. I swear he was a heavier guy. I won't say his name. But you can see him out of his eyes looking at that clock.
Waiting for it.
8 o'clock to come. One day we called the pizza driver, told him to go the other way. We gave him $100 not to come. He was going crazy. It was funny.
Just this time window.
Yeah. Because it was something like he could eat between, he had 8 to 10 to eat whatever he wanted, and then he couldn't eat again until 11 in the morning, or it was something like that. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. It's it's funny. I forgot what I was gonna say, but that's great. That's a great story.
Hey, it worked, right? He lost some weight. He feels better. I don't know if he's still doing it, but I think he is, because he was pretty dead set on it. And he would always get that 3 mile running in the morning. You should see this 280-pound guy running 3 miles.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, they say so. That's what I was gonna say. The fasted workout and then eating is a very powerful practice. So trying to do fasted cardio. Joe Rogan's big on fasted cardio. Fasted cardio / workout, and then breaking your fast right after that is a very powerful time for human growth hormone, testosterone if you're a man. Very powerful time.
Wow, so this idiot was actually doing it right, because he would where we were hanging out at, he actually put a treadmill in this place. It's a place you would not put a treadmill, but whatever, is in the basement. And he would run every day at 6:30, and 8 o'clock was his pizza.
He was on it.
Because by the time his heavy self got on the treadmill, it was 7 o'clock. And then by the time he got done talking and complaining, it was 7:15. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So right when he was done, literally, it was just about 8 o'clock, and he would order the pizza. So that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
So cardio on an empty stomach as a fast, and then within, 30 minutes maybe of the cardio?
Within 30 minutes, yeah. They say 30 minutes after your workout is the metabolic window. So that's when you want to refuel with some calories, some good protein. So 30 minutes is a great window for sure.
And one of the plants that I was reading, peas are really good for you. A lot of protein, a lot of health. Do you eat peas, like green peas?
I do. I have more chickpeas, like garbanzo beans.
Yeah.
That's the go-to. I have chickpea flour pasta, which is always in rotation. I have it almost every night. But yeah, peas are great. Beans are great. There's so many ways to get more plant-based protein that might be easier on people's stomach. Because I know for me, when I was having meat, I was super inflamed, and my digestive process wasn't so clean and so clear. But it's changed a bit now, so not telling anybody they can't have meat, just be aware, listen to your body, how you feel when you have this as opposed to that, and adjust accordingly. Yeah.
Now, before you were doing it, were you doing drugs, a lot of drugs prior to the transformation, or you were just kind of a little off in the head? I mean that in a nice way.
No worries.
Right.
No worries.
Censored for that.
I mean, cannabis.
Believe me, I'm way more off in the head than you'll
It's
ever be.
Lots of cannabis, but I still smoke. I have cannabis today, regardless. But a lot of alcohol. I was like heavy with alcohol. It was my senior year of college. I think I blacked out almost every Friday and every Saturday.
Sounds about like the average, right?
Consistently, yeah. And during that year fast, I just detoxed all of that out. Like I felt it. Like I would feel this head pressure, and it would just come down like after a while, and like it really resonated that I was releasing that, you know. So
now, when you're fasting for a year, you're not tired. You're not initially not tired. Not like you're still like clear in the head.
Yeah, I felt good, and again, it's because of the way we were structuring the fast. If I was just to do a water and herbs fast for a year, no way. Yeah, no way.
I don't know if I would be able to see right now.
Some people might not consider it a fast because you're still eating, but it was like a liquid lifestyle. You know,
it's still fasting. Lifestyle. You're not sitting down having a meal, a plate, right?
Yeah, and fasting is abstaining from anything for a certain period of time. So you could social media fast.
Like that needs to happen across the planet.
Absolutely. I've done that plenty of times where for a month or two, whatever, I just don't look at Instagram. I'm just detoxing that out, and it's amazing.
You should write a book on that one.
Yeah.
How to get away from that.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I'll buy 1 million copies just for the shot that one person fucking reads it, especially in my house.
Yeah. Social media is a very interesting thing. It's an amazing tool when it's used consciously, because I've had so many connections using social media in a great way, connecting with amazing people, partnerships, meeting people in real life that become like family, really close friends. But there's also the side of it where we're just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and just being numb to everything.
It fucking hypnotizes you.
Totally.
Yeah, it's great for networking. It's great for business. But further than that, it's the devil itself, whatever the devil is, that is it.
Yeah.
And as you can see, destroying the country little by little.
Yeah, I think a lot of people base who they are based off their social media account.
Mm-hmm.
And the ego trip and ego game is a very real thing. Yeah, it's a crazy time we're living in, but that's why we have opportunities to express different ways of being and living and bringing awareness to it, being conscious about it and really talking about it, open dialect about it.
And I think there's not a better time to have someone like you in here because of how bad things are, and you can change it. You know what I mean? You can use social media to your benefit, and not the biggest problem I see with it is the attention span of this generation is 3-4 minutes. That's why TikTok is taking over, right? That's a whole nother conversation. But they get in there and they get addicted, like physically and mentally addicted. Dopamine out the ass, serotonin, and then on top of all that, then they're believing what like this person said, that person said, and now you just have this, world of drama queens and kings that don't know really what life is. All they know is that phone and that social media, and then it's just drama, arguments, nowhere, heavier or skinnier, depending on which way the ball falls, or uglier or better looking. I don't know.
I think it's again, it really comes down to the real life interactions. So at least equipping the children and the kids with the knowledge and understanding that, trying to teach them how to use it consciously, which is difficult, of course, but a whole thing.
Because you were able to experience this and then write a book on it and then mentor it, right? How do you get, because it starts with the parenting, right? So how do you get a parent that has a screaming kid not to give them the iPad or the iPhone to quiet them, or put on Netflix for half the day? How do you get them out of that habit? Because that's where it starts. So now once that child sees, iPad, cartoons, or whatever, how do you do it in a healthy way without taking it completely? Because the way life is today, it's kind of a necessity. But how do you break that bond that maybe a parent already has established that, and this is the move. iPad when the kid cries, iPad to keep he or she company. How do you break that so that you could possibly take what you're doing, and even if it's just bits and pieces about what we're going to go through, implement that in their lifestyle? How do you break that line?
Yeah, it's a great question. First and foremost, hopefully it doesn't start. So moving forward, if anybody's having
now you're being about as naive as I don't know. Well, don't get me started on naive people.
You know, but I think it just comes with being honest and open and talking to your child as if it's another adult human being. You know, I know it's difficult. I'm not a parent, so I don't know the dynamics of it exactly. But just being open that, like, hey, this is a tool, but it's not real life. You know, bringing them into the real life, like breathing with your child. Like, we're going to do some breath work. This is meditation. It makes you feel good. It makes you, it gives you superpowers. Like, come up with something that makes it awesome. Like, make meditation and breath work and playing in the grass exciting. Like,
how much are you an hour? Fuck.
I think we need to hype up the quote unquote normal things in our life. You know, breathing is an amazing thing, and we're able to regulate our body's processes with our breath. Like, that's amazing. Like, we just need to talk about it. We need to bring awareness to it, make it exciting, make it cool.
Yeah, we need to make it cool.
Yeah.
So that even if it's not a kid, even if it's a 35-year-old man or woman that doesn't want to get off that phone, how do you make it cool to sell that to them? Because basically you got to sell it to them for them to believe it, for it to work, right? Yeah. So that's the whole trick.
As far as speaking to adults, you know, I think a lot of us are numb in life in general. Like, a lot of us walk around like everything's okay, like I'm doing fine, I go to work, and I think a lot of us are not feeling well, not feeling happy, feeling numb to things, and not sure why they feel the way they do, and feeling deprived. And it's just being open about it. You know, I share everything I share vulnerably on my social media, Instagram, whatever. I speak from the heart because I know more likely than not, most people resonate with what I'm saying, because I understand life. Like, I understand that everybody goes through challenges. Everybody has a dark night of the soul and a rock bottom, you know, and I've been there, and I know practices and techniques that have worked for me that could potentially work for others, you know. So it just takes a spreading of it, an awareness of it.
It probably resonates so well with you because subconsciously, even if the person doesn't realize they have these thoughts yet, or that these are there deep down, when they hear you, the subconsciousness might peak up a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And pay attention a little bit, because that's where it's at. And if you don't let it out, what's going to happen? Panic attacks, anxiety, fucking, you'll be on 19. If you're in the United States, you'll be on 19 drugs in no time, right?
Yeah. Eventually, I feel like everybody is going to have these types of conversations. Like, it's inevitable. It's just a matter of time. So yeah, just bring awareness to it.
No, I think it's great. So now when you talk about plant-based diet, you know, before I get to that, I want to go back to the breathing. How do you breathe? How do you get yourself in the correct breathing? That's a huge problem for 99.9% of people I know. Just from coming in here, being places, it's the breathing. I think they're told by, nothing against anybody, but just some guy down the street will just say, this is how you meditate. You close your eyes and go to 10 or some bullshit. Well, that doesn't work. So how does it work?
So I really learned amazing breathwork practices, again, from my friend, Devon the Black Airbender. Amazing soul, amazing person that has taught me so much. He has something called alchemy breathwork. So alchemy breathwork is a way to tap into the parasympathetic system within our body. Can
you break that down?
Yeah, okay, for sure. So breathing only through the nose, first and foremost, is very important. Mouth breathing actually dehydrates us. and we tap into the fight or flight mode. So what I've learned is breathing only through the nose. My favorite pattern that I do almost all the time is 3 in and 3 out. So, and you could do that wherever, whenever. I did it on the train over here. I did it on the car ride over here. It's just super simple. And for me, it brings balance into my emotional process, body process, thought process. It's amazing. It's amazing. Devon the Black Airbender, I highly recommend.
That I never heard. The 3 in, 3 out, never heard.
Yeah.
Wow. It's and what, breathing out it when you do it through your mouth, that puts you in fight or flight mode?
Fight or flight, yeah.
So that would just wake you up, if anything, or keep you away from the meditative state.
I wish I knew the exact science behind it.
It doesn't work. We'll just leave it at that.
It's not good. It's not good. And actually, if you see a nose breather versus a mouth breather, their jawline, their chin is different, as opposed to breathing through the nose or mouth breathing. When it's mouth breathing, it's kind of like it like sags. Like it doesn't look as healthy as if you're breathing through your nose over time.
That's interesting.
There's a lot of studies on it. Nose breathing versus mouth breathing is a very real thing, for sure.
What, Rob?
I'm a mouth breather.
You're a mouth breather?
Terribly.
Well, good luck. Well, I guess you ain't meditating anytime soon, pal.
Terribly. I have a bad, like, I broke my nose when I was younger. So I don't know what it is, but even when I snore I snore terribly. But I'm always like breathing through my mouth. It's terrible.
My dad snores a lot.
It's terrible.
But there's practices. I'll send you some of my friend Devon's stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe people who are more mouth breathing oriented to help transition over. There's also things where people, it sounds crazy, but like tape their mouth at night to help keep their mouth shut, to only breathe through the nose. That's a possible thing.
And what you're eating can affect that too.
Yeah.
There was a huge study in a medical journal about snoring, because, you know, a lot of people always think it's because of the sign. What's the thing in the sign?
Septum?
Yeah, their septum. If you know, maybe in the past they had a little bit too much fun, or just genetically, you know, they always think it's that, or, you know, whatever else. But a lot of it's eating. Yep. Beer is the number one cause of fucking snoring. You know that? Beer.
I do.
I believe it.
Drink.
Yeah. Nah, it is beer.
My friend Devon also has something called frequency breathers. So it's a new technology invention that he created to essentially, it's like earplugs but for your nose. So you put it in your nose, and it has crystals and other technology in it to technically breathe in frequencies. Like you could plug it into your phone, have 432 hertz, 528 hertz playing, and you're breathing that in to help regulate your system. I tried it. It's amazing. It's very, very healing. So there's a lot of...
I've read all about that. So correct me if I'm wrong. When you do it like that with the hertz, there's levels, right? There's 2 something, 3 something. I think it goes up to 6 that you can do. Okay. And from what I know, it corrects some of the misfires. So when you do it that way, when some of the parts of your brain, and we all have it, that are misfiring, over time it corrects that misfiring, which would make sense because you're putting fucking whatever up your nose of hertz, which is basically electricity. And it supposedly, and this is medical studies, not in the U.S. of course, but that it helps, I wouldn't say fix, but it stops the misfiring because you're shooting electric up there. And however it does it, again, that's for Elon Musk to explain to us, right? It kind of, it settles down all the misfiring. Is that accurate in your opinion?
Frequency, everything is frequency. You know,
Energy, right?
I'm speaking and it's playing at a certain frequency. When we're in fear, our body's producing a different frequency than when we're in joy and in love and happy. So tapping into frequency and using frequency consciously and for our good is one of the most amazing tools we could ever possibly use. Nikola Tesla said the future of healing is in vibration and frequency. And it's true. You know, it's, if you tap into a healing state, to a high frequency, it, within your body, the lower frequencies are transmuted and dissolved. And we're working with this technology, which is called scalar technology, which essentially allows it's essentially like a plate, and you put a crystal on it to help shoot out frequencies in the general direction, and you tap into 0 point energy. And 0 point energy is really powerful to essentially restructure our DNA. And within this scalar technology, you can pick different frequencies. So if I put 528 hertz, which is good for your heart, 432, which is good for your overall body healing, and I sit next to it, my DNA, my body is absorbing this frequency in. I put this on the scalar, and then I drink water that is frequency scalar infused. So frequency is an amazing thing, a powerful thing. I forgot what the question was, but
no, we were just talking about how it stops some of the misfiring in the brain. So you actually buy a device or a physical thing, and then you turn that on and you just sit next to it, and then where does the water come in with it?
So for me, I put water in this water bottle.
Okay.
It's a Myron glass. You put it on, and then the water, I forgot the exact doctor. It was a Japanese doctor, Hiroti Emosho, I believe. And he essentially tested water where he was telling water that he loves the water and telling water that he hates it. Like, I love you to the water. I hate you to the water. And the water molecules were different.
It sounds crazy, but it's true. Yeah. I've seen experiments like that.
And we're mostly water, so.
Yeah, a lot of, aren't we like 80% water?
Yeah, mostly water.
As is the world.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
So if we could change the water that we're drinking, the frequency that we're at, we could change everything about us, for sure.
So do you think, like spring water that they say is spring water, do you think there's preservatives in that? Or do you think it's actually off a spring?
It's possible. I prefer to use Mountain Valley. I trust the brand Mountain Valley. Eternal Springs is good. What I always try to do, and this is something that I do even for food product, whatever it is, I always try to set an intention and a prayer over it regardless. Because even the most conscious person in today's society still might slip up from time to time with artificial flavoring, preservatives. There's endless things that aren't necessarily the best for us, but if I could look at a plastic bottle of water that might have preservatives, and I say, thank you for coming into my body and nourishing me, and set that vibration of gratitude for it, in my belief, it makes a difference. It definitely does.
Well, the saying's been around forever, and Nikola Tesla said it, mind over matter.
Yeah.
And, everything that Elon is doing is pretty much what Nikola Tesla wrote in the wording of that time, including Neuralink. If you go through like all of Nikola's, I can never say his first name.
Nikola
Tesla, like Nicola Machiavelli. But everything he said, just in a different way, is pretty much what Elon was doing. He came up with that Neuralink shit, basically the real Tesla. I mean, he didn't come up with it, but the basis for it, he had written about, 200 years ago? Was that long ago? It was a long time ago. Like the whole fishing line that his part of the brain that can correct things and make it really smart.
Yeah, Tesla was on it, man.
Yeah.
Tesla was on it. My Devon is very big into Tesla technology, and it's actually Tesla used to use scalar technology, which is that machine that shoots frequencies. There's Tesla towers that you touch it and you feel vibrations. There's the future of healing is incredible. It's amazing.
And they also think that vibration is the way we're going to get through things in space, too. They're already using it now, but I mean to get further and further into space is through that vibration. Because if you can vibrate and something hits you and you have a different type of ship, you can deal with matter in space if you're trying to get to Mars. So now they're looking at ways to get there at the speed, close to the speed of light. We had a guy in Robert Beto. I'm trying to get him to fuck back in, but he's building something in that island again. And now they're playing with vibration. Oddly enough.
Yeah.
But it makes total fucking sense.
What some people say is that Earth has been at a low vibration for many years, and what's taking place now on this Earth is a raising in vibration and frequency, and that's why we had COVID, and I feel like a lot of truth is coming to the surface, and a lot of the stuff that we don't necessarily want to see is coming up for us to see and feel. And a lot of people think Earth is purging out from its negative energies and frequencies that have held it captive for years to finally ascend, to awaken to a higher level of being, and they say our bodies are going through that process as well. So it's very interesting times to be alive. There's no rule book for this. We're all just trying. We're all just sharing information that we have, knowledge that we have to keep us sane. But yeah, frequency is everything.
So what would be the difference in low vibration in the Earth and high vibration? How would that affect the Earth negatively and positively, and vice versa?
Well, I think low vibration is, of course, war, hate, fear, racism. In general, it's like a divide of the people, whereas a higher frequency would be us coming together as brothers and sisters of the Earth. We're all here on this planet. There's no reason why. Of course, it depends, because if somebody did something to my family, I'd be upset at them and feel negative feelings towards them. But in a general sense, we're all here all together. So we want to see each other rise together, like be happy for each other and take care of each other.
So like everybody prosper within reason.
Yeah, within reason.
Because you're always going to have the asshole that you got to go take care of. Tyler.
For sure. That's why we practice Jiu Jitsu, martial arts.
Yeah, you are what, a white belt?
A white belt, yeah. One stripe white belt. Very proud to say I am, because
that shit's crazy. That jitsu
is no joke,
buddy.
It's no joke.
This guy's not eating for a year and he's white belt in jitsu. I don't think I want to mess with him. I haven't eaten for a year and he's white belt. Nah, no thank you. I'll see you in a year when you're eating again.
In the Amazon jungle.
Yeah. How about that shit?
Yeah, it's amazing.
So now, is this basically the plant-based diet, or is there a lot more to it than that?
I would say there's a lot more, just because
I'm interested. So tell me.
A vegan diet still isn't necessarily healthy. French fries are vegan, beer is vegan.
French fries are vegan? I guess anything not meat, right?
Yeah, anything not with animal products. So depending on the oil they cook it in or whatever, but this is more of an alkaline approach.
And explain alkaline so everybody understands. I know like alkaline water, because that was the first thing I thought when I read it, but it's clearly not. We're not just talking about alkaline water. There probably is an alkaline water that you buy at the gas station for $5.
That's a whole topic in
spigot water.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Would you agree that alkaline water is probably just spigot water?
They actually use sodium bicarbonate to create it alkaline.
So they go like this and the thing,
yeah,
$5.
Yeah, and then if you test it, there was something where if you test it and then like you shake it up, like it actually goes down.
All the pH is out.
Yeah. So
fucking,
most of the companies do that. Yeah.
I used to see these guys buying 24 packs at $6. Remember when it first came out, the big ones?
Yeah.
$6 a clip, 24 pack. What the fuck is that going to do for you, Obi? You want some alkaline water? I got a tap. Give me the bottles. I'll give it to you for $3. Go ahead, Tyler. Sorry to interrupt you.
So essentially,
with my nonsense,
I live an alkaline lifestyle, which is popularized by Dr. Sebi, also known as Alfredo Bowman, who worked with a lot of celebrities over the years, but he essentially tested these different foods to see what the pH was, and everything has a pH. So whether it was alkaline on the alkaline side or acidic.
And what is pH exactly?
Potential of hydrogen.
Okay, and why is that good, and why would that be bad?
Essentially, it was a way to it's a great question that I'm thinking on. All I know is that he tested this, and using this science behind it to see if it was on the alkaline side or acidic side. Essentially, alkaline is natural, healthy. Acidic is quite harmful or unnatural. There's a lot of hybrid foods. So a popular hybrid food would be a carrot. So a carrot isn't necessarily native to Earth. It was crossbred between two different things to make it.
A carrot.
Make a carrot.
Yeah, which technically, if you take 1 cup of ice cream and a carrot, same amount of sugar, same amount of nutrients.
Get out of here.
No, it's true. Ask him. He'll tell you.
Ah.
Am I right, Tyler?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Carrot is no better than a cup of ice cream.
Oh my God.
So
Eggs, might as well eat plutonium, right? Milk, terrible.
yeah, I stay away from eggs, dairy, milk. Yeah.
What about almond milk?
Cash App. Go to cash.app. Cash App, the easiest way to send money, spend money, save money, and buy cryptocurrency. Cash App believes in providing everyone with access to important financial services so they can fully participate in the economy. Sign up today for Cash App. Use the code MSCS. Additionally, once signed up, create an invite code. When a friend uses the invite code and sends $5 or more from a newly created Cash App account, another bonus will arrive within 14 days. That's cash.app or download the app and sign up. Cash App.
Would prefer walnut milk or Brazil nut milk, cashew milk. A lot of the almond milk, it's okay if it's 100% almond milk, but what you find in the store is most likely a lot of preservatives and additives. But yeah.
If the expiration date isn't in 3 or 4 days, there's preservatives in there.
Yeah.
Right? Period.
Yeah, for sure. It's trying to live in harmony with nature and creation, not eating product, but having food. There's a difference between eating a product, something that you buy and it has a nice label and all that, or food, like something that really fulfills you and makes you feel good. So it's leaning more towards that, having real food that's natural and that is native to the earth.
And that's pretty much what you base your diet on, right? Can you Google what is the alkaline diet? I read it again, but I just want to pull it up.
Yeah.
So that's what so it's basically, now do you eat any meat at all?
I do not.
No?
Currently, no.
Just by choice?
Just by choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, just by choice. It's not that anybody doesn't need to not have meat. It's just doing it consciously, making sure if you are, it's like wild, no preservatives, hormones and stuff.
And that's the thing. I think today, unless you're out hunting and you do it yourself, how do you even know? Because everybody's out to make $1. That's just the way it is. So the longer that something lasts, the more you can make. Now, you might find your mom and pop shops that have it or your butcher or whatever. But other than that, I don't see where you can get a steak that doesn't have something in it.
Yeah.
And as we talked earlier, and we'll get into more, I'm dead set 100% that all this cancer, all these viruses, all this stuff that was never around, never even thought of, is just because of greed, which both those guys say. Sebi, did I say his name right?
Sebi.
And my guru guy.
Sadhguru.
All right, what's this say, Rob?
It says the alkaline diet is also known as the acid alkaline diet or alkaline ash diet. Its premise is that your diet can alter the pH value, the measurement of acidity or alkalinity of your body. Your metabolism, the conversion of food into energy, is sometimes compared to fire. Both involve a chemical reaction that breaks down a solid mass. However, the chemical reactions in your body happen in a slow and controlled manner. When things burn, an ash residue is left behind. Similarly, the foods you eat leave an ash residue known as metabolic waste. This metabolic waste can be alkaline, neutral, or acidic. Proponents of this diet claim that metabolic waste can directly affect your body's acidity. In other words, if you eat foods that leave acidic ash, it makes your blood... Hold on, where am I?
Yeah, you're good. So wow. So they're saying that fish is acidic? Well, I guess because of the salt in the sea, right?
Yeah, and from Dr. Sebi's understanding, fish is the least harmful meat, but it's still not the best. So if you were going to have any meat, he would recommend fish.
White fish, right?
White fish, yeah.
Yeah. And then what is legumes?
Legumes.
Legumes. What the hell is
Legumes,
that?
so like it's kind of like beans.
Yeah,
Like beans, yeah.
but just better.
Yeah, I apologize for all my Alkaline community people for not getting the exact science behind everything, but
The message is there.
the
That's all that
message is there.
matters.
What we eat can definitely affect the diseases that form, and this was proven in court. So
Yeah. So tell me about his case. That was crazy. So first off, what they charge him with or try to charge him with,
it was for impersonating a doctor,
and we're talking about
Dr. Sebi, and that's
Yeah.
my mentor, Tommy Lockwood, who is an herbalist, healer, who had been fasting previous to meeting Dr. Sebi. You know, some people might see that picture and think, oh, he just went to go meet him and that was his introduction. But Tommy's been doing this for a very long time. But essentially, went to go meet Dr. Sebi. That's a different story. But Dr. Sebi was essentially promoting in the newspaper that he had the cure for HIV, diabetes, cancer, AIDS, whatever, in the newspaper. And he was taken to the New York Supreme Court for impersonating a doctor. And at the case, he brought 77 testimonials and live patients. So 77 people with him that had a disease before and then went on. There's many things to it: an alkaline diet, fasting, working with herbs, going in the sauna. There's a whole protocol. But essentially did that and then was cured. And he won the Supreme Court case, which is...
But they hated that.
Yeah, which is... it's been swept under the rug in a lot of ways. But it was actually finding out that the Supreme Court case was real and confirming that Tommy finally flew out to see Dr. Sebi, because I understand how it might sound that there's this healer and he won this case and you change your life by eating the right way, but it's true, man. It's true. If you change how you eat and how you live your life, you can overcome anything.
I don't doubt that at all. And so how does Tommy Lockwood, how does he come into all of this?
Yeah. So I was working at a gym over in Jupiter, Palm Beach Sports Clubs. When I first moved to New York, or from New York to Florida to Jupiter, I got a job doing sales, membership sales at the gym.
Don't you want to go back to New York now?
And no way. Yeah, I have amazing friends in New York, people that like definitely shaped who I am today, but I have no
I bet you
no
don't.
motivation to go there at all. But I was doing sales at the gym. On a off topic, if anybody's moving somewhere, I recommend working at a gym. You know, I met so many amazing people, learned so many amazing skills, and it was such a blessing for me to work at the gym. But I was doing sales. I learned sales, which was great. And I saw a advertisement for this retreat that Tommy was hosting, his first ever retreat here in Miami. And I just moved to Jupiter. You know, I was into veganism, plant-based, and knew about Dr. Sebi. But seeing somebody who met Dr. Sebi in person, I was like, wow, I need to go. I need to go to this. So I made it happen. And I wasn't necessarily in a financial position to invest in something like this, but it called to me. You know, I had an inner knowing that I had to be there, so I made it happen. And, you know, you either make it happen or you don't. You know, you find excuses or you make it happen, and I made it happen. I know I needed to go. And going there, I was just blown away by everything. The care, the knowledge, the wisdom, everything just opened my eyes to the way life is and how deep this goes. Because I was vegan, but vegan that was still having beer, still partying, you know. And then this just totally changed my life with working with plant medicines, diving deeper into the work with the herbs. It was really the work with the herbs that really just takes things to a whole nother level.
Why, when you say work with the herbs, can you explain that, and how does that take things to a whole nother level?
Yeah. So herbs, there's a Bible quote that says herbs are for the healing. And a lot of us in today's society have a lot of mineral deficiencies, just don't feel right, aren't our best. And it's my opinion and my experience that herbs are here to help us heal and to overcome these things and bring the body back into balance. So the analogy that we like to use is like the washer machine and detergent. So clean eating, lifestyle choices, fasting, this could all be like putting your clothes in a washer machine without any soap. It's the herbs that help to scrape up the mucus and the inflammation, like the really deep levels in the gut and the colon. It helps to wash it clean. And a lot of us are carrying around years and years of wrong eating habits and lifestyle choices. So the herbs definitely accelerate the healing process in the body and bring your body back into harmony. I notice when I'm taking my herbs and when I'm not, how I feel. Like when I take my herbs, I just feel ready to go. Like I feel my blood like working how it's supposed to, and I have energy and I feel vibrant. So yeah, herbs are amazing.
Well, what herbs do you recommend?
There's many, but like a cliche herb to share is sea moss, Irish sea moss.
I don't know anything about that.
Gives you 92 minerals that the body needs in the body. Very, very powerful sea vegetable, along with sarsaparilla, which is really good for iron. Within our programs, the way we work with people is essentially seeing where they're at, how their body's feeling. If they have blood work, whatever, they could bring it in, and then we customized herbal protocols based off where they're at and what they need. So if somebody has diabetes or somebody's trying to heal their skin, we take that into account, and then we combine certain herbs together to create their herbal protocol, their package specific to them. And that's really what gets amazing results for the body and for these people.
Now, the herbs that you're getting in, where are you getting them from?
So we source, we source our sea moss from Peru, some from Ecuador, some from the Dominican Republic. So we have different connections to get organic, wild-crafted, really good herbs to be used.
So you're not like going into Whole Foods and buying these herbs, right?
No, but you
have
could.
These statements have not been approved by the FDA. They are not recommended to treat, cure, or prevent any disease, which means there could be cake mix in this bottle. That's what really it means. And there's nothing you could fucking do.
We're actually, we would love to get into Whole Foods and do it right. Get what we have to offer to the general public. That'd be great. But there are certain herbs that you could get that are more mainstream, like ginger. You could get ginger at Whole Foods, chamomile, elderberry.
Chamomile does work. A friend of mine from Ecuador put me on to that. I'm like, this is bullshit. It does. If you have like a heavy meal and drink chamomile after it, because like my cheat day would be Saturday. I'd eat very healthy all week and Saturday bad. When I would drink the chamomile after it, it just soothed everything. Because when you shock your body after eating very healthy for 5 days straight, you don't want it to adapt or it's pointless. So then, the way I do it is I shock the body once or twice a week with a pile of shit, and then the other 5 days is extremely clean. Basically the way you eat.
Balance?
Yeah. No, I mean strict.
Yeah.
I mean, the right vitamins and minerals and everything else, but like I'm not eating anything other than granola bars, and that's just because it's something in a rush, but usually it's like raw, like good oatmeal. Oddly enough, I use sugar in the raw because I'd rather have real raw cane sugar than what's the new one? What the fuck is the green one now? Like that Splenda, which they found that's even worse than aspartame. Yeah. And then they came out with the green one. You know what I'm talking about? It's the artificial sweetener. It's supposed to be like really good. It's really bitter as hell. You know what I'm talking about? I just can't think of it. Who cares? Okay.
But you bring up a good point, and hot water is a trick, a tool that somebody could use if their stomach is hurting, indigestion, because what Tommy taught me is that there's a reason why we use hot water for our drains when it's clogged. It's the same for our body. You know, like it helps to flush things out.
Right.
So starting your day and ending your day with the hot liquid is like an amazing practice.
I do it every
super
night.
easy.
Morning, I have green tea, caffeine free, because I have plenty of caffeine during the day. And then an evening before I go to bed, with something else to help me go to bed, green tea.
That's great.
It's perfect.
Great.
I see my mom always drank tea.
Yeah. No, I studied that, like pages and pages.
Yeah,
when
you're
I
on
was bored, so I was bored for a while, so I read a lot.
I was talking to this guy the other day because I'm like a huge coffee drinker. I drink way too much coffee, like a lot of coffee.
Fuck it.
But he told me about. Have you
Don't
ever
be
heard
a
of
pussy.
mud water?
Don't be a pussy.
Mud water.
Mud water? He said it was like basically I think it's hot water you mix with, but it's like mushrooms.
Mushrooms, yeah.
And he says it's amazing. You get the same caffeine, like almost that feel from that. And I'm like,
Yeah, but then if it didn't fucking kill me, I'm allergic to mushrooms.
I
How
hate
about
mu- I
that?
hate
Are you?
mushrooms.
Didn't happen till I was 28.
Wow.
I
All
was-
types, like lion's mane, chaga, or
I don't know. My mother used to make chicken marsala all the time, and then one day I ate it, and my throat started clogging up, and I had to get an EpiPen.
Wow.
And for me, that was the end of mushrooms. So I'm not tempting other mushrooms,
Yeah.
even though I'd like to tempt psilocybin.
Yeah.
Extremely bad, but I'm scared it will fucking kill me. Or I guess if I did psilocybin and had an EpiPen, would I be all right? Assuming I had somebody there.
with you.
Yeah.
Assuming I had somebody there in reality at the moment that could fucking stick me, and he's not over in whatever dimension he's in, you know.
somebody watching your trip, the trip setter. And,
Yeah, right. Yeah, not somebody in dimension number 6
Yeah.
while I'm like, hey, can you get out of 6 and fucking shoot me, motherfucker, and not shoot me with the other thing.
But mushrooms are very medicinal. You know, lion's mane, chaga, reishi, very, very healing for the body. I'm sorry to hear your loss with the mushrooms.
Yeah, I know. I'm not very happy about it, Tyler.
But psilocybin's great as well, man. It connects both brain hemispheres.
Why don't you rub it in some more?
We could stop this. We could pause it.
How about DMT?
I've smoked DMT.
Oh, finally, we got two out of 200.
I've done ayahuasca, which contains DMT.
Is ayahuasca part of mushroom or no?
Ayahuasca is a mix of 2 plants. So it's something they do in the Amazon cultures and ceremony. For me, DMT, I dab DMT. Wow, I was like,
So I'm dying to know. So take me from the atmosphere to when you took it, while it was active, and when it became unactive.
yeah. So I was at my friend Kyle's house. Shout out to Kyle.
Sorry, one more thing. And for people that don't know and don't believe me, because you know this, DMT is naturally occurring in the brain.
Yeah,
And it used to be active years and years ago, which in my belief, DMT with all the mushrooms that were in Jerusalem at the time is the only way that I can comprehend how we evolved so quickly, so fast, because prior to that, it took forever to evolve into anything. And how in the hell does a guy go up against a tiger with a stick? DMT and mushrooms
DMT.
without your ass will go up against the mushroom, and that tiger knows that you're not right in the head. It says, I'll pick the guy that's not chewing up a bunch of mushrooms over here that are nice and fresh and doesn't have DMT naturally occurring in his brain so he can kill me, because the tiger can sense the fear. When I would assume out of instinct, when the tiger realizes that man has no fear of it, he may choose a man that there's not a lot of mushrooms around and DMT. It's funny, but true.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
DMT is secreted when we die. As we're going through the death process,
Right.
our brain is secreting a lot of DMT, so we're tripping out of this world, which makes it, what is DMT? The spirit molecule. What is that?
In my opinion, it's a form of energy, because I say to myself, okay, why? Because we don't need it right now in life, because we have other things to survive and eat. It's still there in the brain, and it's proven under CAT scans and everything else, because people sign their little waivers. Yeah, you can CAT scan me or MRI me when I'm about to croak, and it does. It becomes fucking active, and the only answer I have to that, or hypothesis, I guess you could say, is that it's pushing the energy somewhere. Because DMT is energy. It's hard for me to believe that when you die, your energy goes nowhere. because we're just a ball of energy, really. So it has to go somewhere. Where it goes, I have no idea, right? But I think that alone tells me that the energy of you, maybe not you, but the energy goes somewhere.
Yeah, they say energy is neither created or destroyed, so it just transferred into something else.
Whatever
Whatever
that
is.
whatever that
Whatever
may
that
be,
is.
right?
But yeah, DMT, I've definitely gotten a lot more wisdom and applicable life lessons from ayahuasca than DMT.
DMT, though. All right.
Yeah.
So you decide, I'm going to do DMT. Where do you go?
Yeah.
You don't have to tell me where. Do you go with good people?
Yeah.
Okay.
My close friend Kyle.
Okay. Do
Close
you eat
friend
prior to it?
I don't think I did.
Oh, you're
It's
probably
like a banana or
You're
something.
probably fasting.
Yeah.
Fucking year. This guy's probably fasting for a year while he's hitting the D. That might be one hell of a trip.
We had planned it. You know, I was over his house, getting ready, getting prepared, setting our intentions, because with any type of psychedelic plant medicine work, you always are supposed to set an intention. I mean, you don't have to, but for me, I always like to set an intention because it grounds the experience. Like if I go into a ceremony saying I want to heal my body, like medicine, please help me heal my body. Please help me connect with my guides, with my mother, you know, whatever. So I set my intention, whatever it was at that time. And we sat down, we were playing frequency music. I think I smoked it first, and it was like out of a dab. And like dabs are like very intense. So, like, you get the torch, like you do
Can
everything.
you get anything stronger, bro? He went right for the Holy Grail.
Straight for it.
Well, if you're gonna do it right.
So I did that, and then before I could even like start to lay down, I just like was lifted to like this roller coaster of like so many colors. So like I felt like I was going like this, and there was just colors flashing everywhere. And along that journey, they were like, it's like the cliche thing, machine elves. But I was seeing machine elves. I was seeing beings like pointing at me and laughing, like, you're doing this, you're here, this is your life, you're here, and like just swirling. So I lay down, I'm laying down. I didn't really feel my body. I felt like I was like floating in space. And after about 5 minutes of just like being totally up there, like super confused about what was happening, I started to come down, like ground back into my body as Tyler, and I was just hysterically laughing to like be alive. I never felt so happy to just be in my body in this moment here rather than whatever that was. Like it was a different experience than ayahuasca, because ayahuasca, it's a very balanced way, I guess you would say, or
well, we have DMT, so we know how that went.
yeah.
So now the ayahuasca, which we're not sure if there's mushrooms in there, so that's still a possibility. Maybe, hopefully, right?
No, I mean for us, we didn't. When I took ayahuasca, it was just ayahuasca.
Ooh, great,
Right.
Good news.
I have done ceremony where it's mushroom, psilocybin,
Now you fucked it up again.
and San Pedro, which is a cactus.
Wow.
No, those
Really?
That's
those
a
are
powerful,
rocket, right?
Yeah, it's powerful.
Okay, take me through the
Where did you do this?
psilocybin.
We've gone to a couple places.
Amazon.
Yeah, the Amazon, where it's a sacred land. However, ayahuasca is a drink, so you drink it. The first time I took it was at this place, and I sat down for my intention, my ceremony. My intention was I remember for that, it was to get guidance along my life. I really wanted to see my mom, ultimately. Like, I really wanted to connect with her in the spiritual. And that was my intention. I take my cup, and it's a more gradual experience. So DMT might last like 15 minutes, and it shoots you right up, and then you're down. Ayahuasca could be 3-4 hours of going through the motions. So after about an hour, let's say like 30 minutes to an hour, I really started feeling the effect, like feeling like this. You know, my mentor, Tommy, he's very humble about it, but he's a straight up shaman in so many ways. So he facilitates the ceremony and makes a safe space for us to dive into your work, the spiritual work, inner work. So I was going through the motions, listening to the music that he's playing. It's supposed to like move things in your body with like sacred instruments, shakapa. And before I knew it, I was like, the way I would explain it is like my body was here and my soul, my spiritual body energy was just like going up and down and like flying and then coming back down and then coming back down.
Like flying up or what?
I just
are
felt
you
like
seeing things? Are you thinking things?
At first it was the feeling of just like feeling like I'm just rising up, and like whether that's energy, vibration, ayahuasca, when you take it, it's very strong, and it takes your body to the higher plane, the higher frequency. So whereas like other psychedelics, it might be more of the mind, ayahuasca is very physical, like you feel it in your body. So
more like a euphoria or just within?
It depends, because sometimes you might take ayahuasca. Me personally, I take it and I'm just throwing up the entire time, like purging out and crying and just like going through so many emotions. So it depends where you're at in your life and what the circumstance is. But for my first time taking it, man, my mom came to me like face to face, as if we're talking here, and told me like, she just looked so beautiful, like an angel. And she was saying she was proud of me and like happy that I'm doing this work, this line of work, and like telling me how to look after my family and like what I need to do to make them each feel appreciated and cared for. And I just, it was very beautiful for me, a very amazing moment in my life. And they say the ayahuasca spirit, grandmother spirit, stays with you forever. It's always protecting you. And I actually went to a spiritual reader, and she said she felt a grandmother energy on me. That's what she said. Like, I feel plant medicine energy on you. So when you take ayahuasca, that spirit stays with you for life. But this experience was very beautiful. And then you come down and then you integrate back in.
That's hot. That's basically it right there.
Yeah. So the picture in the middle is what a ceremony looks like. So we're all gathered in a circle, and that's where we all share our intention. So, hi, my name is Tyler. This is my second time doing ayahuasca. Really excited to be here. And then I give like advice for people who might be their first time. They're nervous. So I share something and I say my intention for this ceremony is, and then the next person goes around, and then essentially the ceremony begins. We take the ayahuasca.
They're saying ayahuasca, the new medical marijuana. Did you see that? You just see that as clickbait.
Potentially clickbait. I think ayahuasca is very healing, but it's definitely different than marijuana.
One's more I'm just telling you from like what I'm gathering from you and what I know. It's more bringing ayahuasca, all these psychedelics is more bringing you in touch with reality, that the way you and I think we look at reality. You know what I mean? What reality really is, what else is out there, things that you can't comprehend, or things probably that you're not meant to comprehend at this IQ level for a reason. Yeah. And that opens that up for a short amount of time, that you're able to see maybe something that you're not supposed to see. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's all the reading I've done on it. To me, it's that the mind isn't meant to know all this. You can handle it. I think I can handle it. I think
hell I can't.
But a lot of people couldn't.
Yeah.
And it would set them to the loony bin.
Yeah,
if they knew what reality possibly could really be.
It's not
for everyone.
It's not glorious work. It's not easy work. Like every time I'm sitting in ceremony, I'm nervous. Like I'm scared. But I trust that the medicine and my spirit and the people I'm around will get through it. But it's not like this glorious thing where I'm going to take ayahuasca and feel great and get high. Like it's releasing so much negativity and trauma and emotions. Like whatever you're holding in, it's going to come to the surface. Totally.
Which I think is a great thing because it gets it out of you.
Yeah.
And I've seen so many people, and myself, I suffered from severe anxiety for years, and I refused to take pills and all that other shit. But I mean, it just got out of control, and then it got so bad where there was no choice at that point. You know, it was either take something or live miserable. And back then, you know, in 2000, this wasn't even, you know, you get fucking 100 years for this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now they have all this stuff, and you know, it's just a shame that the U.S. is the way it is because, as you said, you know, just the things that we're talking about, these are all things that can be done that avoids all of these man-made chemicals that do, to me, in my opinion, nothing but harm.
Yeah.
And I know me personally, I'd rather take something from the ground any day of the week
100%.
than some lab that is all about money.
Yeah.
You know? So when you do the ayahuasca, that lasts 3 or 4 hours.
3 or 4 hours, depending. Some people take 1 cup, 2 cups, 3, 4, 5.
So what are they? Sorry, do they? It's like a root that they boil? Like
So
like a soup?
it's 2 different plants. So it's a root and a leaf.
You need to go down to like the pop-ins.
Oh, right here.
The Shirkuna leaf, I think that's how you pronounce it. There's, I forgot the other one, but essentially you mix the two, and there's stories behind it, because how did these natives in these lands find that root and that plant and figure to combine them and then to drink it?
Right here, Tyler. What are they to the right? What are they doing right there?
They're essentially cutting up the bark.
Okay.
So in the left, if you see the picture on the left,
okay,
that pot, it's
click on
the root and the leaf that are combined together. So they're combined, they're boiled for like hours and hours, and then from that becomes the ayahuasca medicine, the drink that you drink.
You're
obviously.
boiling it out of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you drink the whole cup, or how?
Well, like he said, some do 1 cup, some do 2.
Sometimes just that is enough to like really go on an experience. So it depends also like how much somebody weighs. That's takes into account their previous experience. For me, fasting and all, like 1 cup is always plenty. Like I'm fine off 1 cup. I'm definitely in the medicine. I feel it.
Like somebody like Rob size, what would you say for his first time to get the beneficial effect?
Yeah, we always start with 1, and then the way ceremony is structured and how it goes is essentially if anybody feels the call for more medicine, they can come up now, and then you could come up and ask for a 2nd cup, and then a 3rd cup and a 4th cup.
I might do that.
Yeah.
Do the drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And you guys hold these ceremonies
in sacred lands when
yeah.
When it's possible. Yeah.
I'll fix up that part. Don't worry. That was fucked up. I forgot.
It's all good.
But where it's fucking legal in a lot of places, like Chicago, it's legal. Portland, a lot of places.
There's a way to essentially get adopted by like native religious people that have religious exemption. There's a way to get adopted by them.
Yeah. Well, in Florida, like
So
all
it's
the
legal.
Indian land.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
Like,
Indian
everybody
lands.
do it.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
they can't do anything.
Yeah.
And those people know, like the Native Americans, they live off the land. Like,
Yeah.
those people live till like 110. I feel like.
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
Why? Yeah. Why?
Because they're all doing what Tyler's talking about.
Yeah.
Really, they are. But go over there for a day. You'll see some really fucked up shit. But
Yeah, I bet I would.
they'll live till 110.
Yeah, it's about bringing those teachings, ancient teachings, into the now. You know, because not everybody wants to fly to the Amazon to go sit with medicine and fast and detox. But you could take these principles, you could take these teachings, and incorporate it in your everyday life. You know, it should be easy. It should be easy to feel good and heal your body. You know, it's a right. It's a given right for us.
So now you get to the Amazon. You go over to Ecuador. How was Ecuador?
It was beautiful. Ecuador is great. It's actually a funny story with this because this was in March of 2020, before COVID. Like COVID was in the works, but we were still able to fly. There weren't restrictions anywhere. And I was telling Tommy, I felt something was coming with all this COVID stuff, this narrative. Like I feel like I just felt something was about to happen. And we're in the Amazon. There's no Wi-Fi. We don't have service, nothing. And we're sitting with Bendeson, and we're making our way back to the main city. And everybody starts getting Wi-Fi again, getting service, and seeing that the borders are shutting down, that COVID is going crazy, that Ecuador was not going to allow anybody in or out within like, I think it was like a week. We had a week to get out and like be there and like go back to our homes. So we cut the retreat short. We cut it short, but like 2 days, everybody flew home right away. And that's when COVID and restrictions, lockdown, everything happened. But
And how long were you actually there for?
we were there, in the top left. We were deep in the Amazon for 3 nights.
Wow.
3 nights.
Take me through that. You got to see some cool stuff in there, huh?
Yeah, man. It's so beautiful. Really connecting in with nature. You know, the stars were unbelievable.
How'd that look? You probably could see everything.
UFOs, shooting stars, everything.
Everything.
Yeah. That was really peaceful. You know, hearing.
And you just said the word UFO. What you think? Do you think there's UFOs up
I
there?
think so.
For sure.
Yeah.
You think life is other extraterrestrial life has been here or here?
Yes to both. You know,
You think
from my perspective, I think so.
that they've been here and that they are here?
Yeah.
I think for sure they've been here. Probably are. Do you think we have them captive, or do you think they're running around and we just can't see them? It sounds fucking crazy, but I don't think it's crazy.
No, I mean, I think what some people say is that some of us come from different star systems, and we came to Earth to incarnate as a Earth, which technically would mean we're an alien. You know, like we're alien to Earth.
Well, take that into perspective. What are we doing with Mars? We're trying to make Mars livable, right? So then wouldn't we technically be aliens on Mars?
Yeah.
Because we're not from Mars.
Yeah.
And we're already trying to do it now. Within the last 50 years, we've been trying to do it, or 20 for that matter, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to go back to ayahuasca, I literally saw these beings, these galactic, like blue-colored beings. It was a private ceremony that Tommy and I were having, and these beings were thanking us for our service. There was like a whole army, like miles and miles of them. And they were like, thank you for your service that you're doing on Earth. And like, it felt so real. Like it felt like moments that feel more real than your life. Like very interesting things.
So do you think this is a simulation? Do you think it's a dimensional thing? Do you think it's other life came here and planted the seed and let us grow? And, you know, you have one, it didn't come out the way they liked it and whacked us out with 1 ice age. Then they whacked us out with 2. And then there was the volcano that blew up. And that was another ice age that nobody ever talks about, I guess. You know what's really crazy about the scientific community with all that? Most of them have their ways set. Even though they know that technology has advanced and we know a lot of shit, they refuse to address it because they don't want to be the one to go against what the grain has been. And with that happening, it just puts science at like a big stop sign, because now you only have a couple guys that still have that open mind where everybody else just says, well, it's in the book, let's just stick to what we got. But as technology has advanced, we pretty much know this, in my opinion, and these heavy-hitting doctors that don't want to change the rules of the land is doing nothing but halting the inevitable, because you're not going to stop what's going to happen. The most you can do is be ahead of it. But when you're not working together like you used to get so far as we've gotten now, you're dead, right?
Yeah. It's
So of all those, the simulation, the dimensions, you know, other life came, planted the seed, didn't like it, whacked us out. Now they like this for now. And then the next, to me, it looks like the next is AI, but I don't know.
Yeah.
What would you say is the most likely, or something I didn't mention that you think is likely to be all of this?
You know, for me, and again, my personal perspective and experience, I feel like What I said at the beginning of this podcast, I never felt like Earth was my home. And when we understand that we're just one planet in a huge solar system and universe of many other planets, I think we're not really told our galactic history, if you will. Like, we're just here living in this short period of time, but there's probably millions and millions, infinite stories of other planets and the wars that they went through, and the blessings and technology that they advanced with. I think for me, it feels like I'm from somewhere else, but I say this with the understanding that I'm okay. Like, I'm a sane person, you know, I'm here in the physical, and I focus on what I can focus on regardless, you know, so I focus on the daily interactions, the habits and lifestyle, and I love being here on this earth for sure, and I'm a sane person, but I feel like I'm from somewhere else. I feel like a lot of us are like star seeds from somewhere else coming to this planet to help Earth at this time, because what we're experiencing on Earth is crazy.
Some shit.
It's some shit going on.
Yeah.
And we're here to, like, I don't know, bring awareness to things and help each other and bring consciousness to it to help elevate. A lot of people think Earth has been in a quarantine, its own quarantine for many years. The elites, the higher ups, the people in control, they've had their run on the Earth for quite some time, you know, and the consciousness is changing to facilitate something different.
Yeah. How do you justify deja vu? See, I lean toward dimensions or simulation. Maybe a little bit. I'm probably 50-50 on both. But pertaining to dimensions, because that's the only way I can describe deja vu. Because if you really think you were somewhere that you never were, or saw somebody that you never see, but can literally describe it, a place you've never been in your life. So, like, how would you know that sidewalk was dirty? And then you go look at the sidewalk and it's dirty. And there's a fence there. And there's green grass. And there's a pothole to the left. But you've never been there. The only way, personally, I think you could be able to do that, and we can't use all of our brains, so who the fuck knows? It's just a little shit amount that we can use. To me, that says dimension. As if I was there in another dimension, energies cross paths at the wrong time in that split second because the energy hit at the wrong time, at the wrong place, whatever super technical science words. For that second, I was there, but I wasn't in this life. But that second of energy that just didn't fire right, I thought I was there. What would you say to that?
Yeah, that's a very deep thing, I think. I also lean towards the dimension and timeline aspect, because every decision that we're making sets us on a different timeline than the opposite. So what happens to that opposite timeline? You know, so maybe deja vu is a thing where, a timeline and a feeling where it's like a standard thing that you've done across many timelines that, like, is like a staple thing. Like, so maybe I choose to pick this up or put it down, or I choose to drink it, but maybe across several timelines, I'm doing that thing that creates deja vu. You know, that's a potential.
Right. And then that one thing that you do could put you in a different dimension just like that, right?
For sure. Every decision, every action, everything that we do, we're creating our future life, you know?
That's a very simple way to put it. So if the gazillion people that are still on Facebook, your timeline, let's say you say something stupid about somebody on that timeline that you don't want somebody to see. Well, that whole timeline now goes in a totally different direction. Yeah. If you say something really nice and good, it goes in this direction. If it's just the same old boring shit, it's just like this, right? Yeah.
It's where you choose to invest your energy, which is why I'm such a proponent of Kaizen and what Kaizen is, because if you could focus your energy and your attention on the goal that you want, what you want to accomplish, what your dreams are, and you put your energy towards actions and activities that will get you there, you're going to get there. It's as simple as that. You know, success isn't random. You know, it's deliberate activity, a deliberate moving forward towards that goal. You know?
Well, that's a great point, because can you name one person that didn't have, trust fund, like they call them trust fund babies, and that's nothing to take away from the kid, because I know a lot of super rich parents that did not go like this to their kids. They made their kids work. But I also know a lot of super rich parents that said, here's the checking account, so that can go both ways. But those who weren't well off when they came into this life, but became Steve Jobs, Jeff Bezos, whoever else. Maybe now they're on that yacht. Maybe now they're on that G6. But prior to that, they were working 20 hours a day, lost relationships, obviously. So he just gave her half his, what did he give her? Half a billion, or what did he give her? 500 billion? I don't know. She took half his shit. But, throughout that, and that probably was just a ticking time bomb, because he was probably never home. So my point is that, to what you said, is nobody makes it to the top without tons of work, failure, struggle, loss of relationships with family, friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And it's what we talked about before with TikTok and instant gratification. People want it overnight, and they don't see the 20-year overnight success, like 20 years of work to get to that level that they're at. Gary Vee was creating, wine library videos, 10 plus years with 0 views, but still doing it. But now we see him as who he is today and think it's always been like that.
Selling out. I remember him in Philly in 2005. He was a nobody. He was coming from New York to Philly. He was doing his little speech thing. He was actually going into like pizza shops and shoe stores and just doing crazy stuff. He really was. He was going into South Street acting nuts and to get attention, but nobody knew it at the time, but he was trying to give a message or just get traction. But that was 05. This is 22. And now he's doing the stadium thing and the views and the talk shows and whatever else. I'm talking 05 I saw him. That's what, fucking 15? That's 17 years ago.
Yeah, the grind is real. And that's why I love jiu-jitsu, because a black belt is just a white belt who didn't quit. And it's very clear the work you put in. Nobody starts jiu-jitsu knowing everything and being great. It's just daily work, daily grind, just showing up. If you show up every day, you're going to get better over time.
How did you implement, or how did you, and what made you implement Jitsu into all of this? Because you didn't just do Jitsu, you're a white belt. And Jitsu's, I've had a couple Jitsus, what was, he's going to kill me, the champion, Spanish guy. Anyway, that's crazy.
So
I would not want to fight. I'm a boxer, I'm very good at boxing, but I mean, I'm nothing up against that jitsu shit with them kicks.
When it gets to the ground,
yeah, I'm dead. You get me to the ground, forget about it. It's over. Or a kick, you kick me once, I'm gonna fall over.
So
here's my wallet.
It was actually working at the gym. I met Apollo, who has become one of my greatest mentors and greatest friends. He's the dude with the beard and the mohawk. We became friends, and yep, that's him.
Right there.
Yeah, that's
you got him on the upper right and lower. Yeah, he's got nice biceps.
Yeah, that's my boy. So,
yeah,
I met him at the gym, and after like a few months of talking and getting to know each other, he told me that he practiced. I mean, I knew early on that he had practiced martial arts and jiu-jitsu and so many other crafts, but I wanted to train with him, So, funny story, while I was working at the gym, I transitioned from sales to front desk, and I would be the closer. I would lock up at night. So everybody would leave. They would be gone. I would have the key. Apollo and the boys would come in after hours at this Gold's Gym, corporate gym, and we would just set up shop, set up mats, and just grind and work. And that's actually what Freedom Jiu-Jitsu is all about. Apollo and his brother Andrew were training in their high school gym with wrestling mats after hours. So it's always been something where you could train wherever. You always find a place. It's not glorious work, but we get it done. So I was training with him for a while in the gym, but then I moved to Miami from Jupiter. So in the bottom right, if you see, that was at one of Apollo's students, Dave, one of my teammates now, one of his fights that he was training for, and he won. This was in like Orlando. And I was just super inspired by that, like showing up to battle, you know, showing up with your brothers, with your team, and testing your skills and testing who you are. And in today's day and age where society's soft, you know, I was craving savagery. I was craving like masculine energy. And I called Apollo the day after that. I called him and said, what can I do to get you down to Miami and to get a team in Miami? He said, hey, we need probably need 4 or 5 guys. And I made it happen. You know, we made it happen, and that's us training like a week after at my apartment rooftop. We set out the mats, and we were initially going to train at our rooftop balcony, and then we found this gym from a mutual friend. So at Live Free CrossFit, an amazing gym, we essentially get the key to go in and train after hours, which is where freedom started to begin with, you know, after hours, after hours, after hours. So freedom is amazing. You know, I'm very passionate about this, and it's helping me tap into my self-confidence, tap into my body awareness, who I want to be in this world. It's nice being able to walk down the street and know you could handle yourself. There's a different type of energy there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so it's doing so much for me, and there's really nothing like it. If I ever have kids, I'm going to get them in jiu-jitsu like right away.
How long did it take you to get to white belt?
Well, white belt is what you get starting out. So just making the commitment to practice jiu-jitsu, you get a white belt, but you get stripes along the way. So there's essentially 4 stripes to get before you get a blue belt, and then 4 stripes, and then purple belt. So
And he's got the purple belt, obviously.
he's a purple belt. He
looks like a purple belt. Not like that or whatever. Fuck, you can't say anything.
It's okay. It's okay.
I was saying that he could probably, he looks like he could fuck
because he's a
shit up.
badass.
He looks like a badass.
Yeah, it's a blessing, man. And
I know purple belt in jiu-jitsu is high because the guys at him.
he hasn't been able to train under a coach for a while. You know, it's kind of been like grassroots style. So nobody's been there to give him promotions in that way. But Freedom Jiu-Jitsu is an affiliate under RBJJ, Coach Rod, shout out to Coach Rod, who's able to give us promotions and level us up in that way. So now Apollo has the chance to get his black belt, you know, which is he's very deserving of. In his own right.
And that's the top, right?
Within black belt, there's like second degree black belt, 3rd degree. So it continues on, and then there's even like a red belt or coral belt for like many years.
Podcast, come on in. Problems, I don't want no problems, buddy. You want to come in for a podcast? Love to hear about it, but problems, I don't want no problems with that.
And jiu-jitsu is amazing because it's the great equalizer. Because you don't need to be so strong. Having strength helps. Having endurance helps, of course, but it's for the creator of jiu-jitsu, or not the creator, but Helio Gracie, who popularized jiu-jitsu. He couldn't even do one push-up, but he was kicking ass because he knew the right technique and the right way to put his body to subdue a bigger opponent. So it's really amazing. You know, it opens up a whole new world.
That's what's killer about jiu-jitsu, because you can fight with your hands, your feet, your legs, everything.
The whole body, moving as one,
Yeah.
moving your arms as your legs as arms, you know?
Yeah, so when you get in a bar fight, you don't know what you're getting into nowadays. So I stay home.
Yeah.
And I don't want any fucking trouble.
And,
And I don't feel like getting my ass kicked.
a lot of people think they're ready when a fight comes. You're not as ready or prepared as you think you are if you're not regularly training.
Yeah.
You know, like some people think, oh, I got it. Like,
That's bullshit.
yeah. If you're not regularly training how to survive when somebody's trying to choke you or rip your arm off, you're going to be surprised. You know?
I'm surprised because I used to box, right? So I have things in my house to practice, and I used to be able to go 8-10 rounds. Now I know in the fights I was getting hit, so my adrenaline was giving me energy, but I run every day. I sauna every day. I work out every day. And I time it like my trainer did, like hitting the bag and the body bag. And after like 4 rounds of what I used to do, I'm dead. I'm fucking dead.
Uh,
So if you think just because you go out and you train for a little bit jiu-jitsu or anything for a couple minutes, no, homie.
yeah.
You might have the muscle memory, but you don't got the endurance.
Yeah, they say it's not who's the best, it's who's left. You know,
That would be accurate.
whoever's most consistent, like it's consistency over time gets to those results. So yeah, I love it, man.
Now,
great.
now, Dr. Sebi, am I saying got it?
Sebi.
Sebi,
Yeah.
pretty close this time. Third time will be a winner. Okay. Now Nipsey Hussle, the rapper who passed away, he was gonna do a documentary on what made him want to do a documentary that you know of on Dr. Sebi.
I think he just heard of the teachings through the grapevine. You know, it's becoming really, really popular. He worked with a lot of high-end celebrities, Eddie Murphy, Shaq. I believe there's a story that Barack Obama actually ordered a ton of Dr. Sebi's herbs. You know, so the people that have the influence and the networks, they know Dr. Sebi. So I think just word of mouth, and then he got super inspired. I'm sure he changed his lifestyle.
You know who else used him?
Mm.
Phil Jackson, probably the greatest NBA coach.
Yeah.
He's huge on Zen.
Mm.
He's big into that. That's how I initially heard the name years ago when I was watching the Lakers.
Wow,
And
I didn't know that.
and he's a super Zen guy, so it would only kind of make sense that he would be, because I know Zen's different, but it's kind of one. It's all spiritual, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
and it's all looking at things in a different way, you know. And for Phil Jackson, the players he was dealing with, Shaq and Kobe, Rodman, Jordan, all those personalities, Zen incorporated with some of Dr. Sebi's techniques. I mean, fuck.
Yeah,
I mean, it
Hey,
worked.
the gut, you know, our gut health is our mental health. So as we cleanse and we clear and we're taking care of our physical body, in that sense, our mental and emotional state changes as well. You know, our gut could even technically be described as our biggest brain. Our gut is bigger than our actual brain, you know, and it's your gut feeling. And then what we like to say is, how could you trust your gut if it isn't cleansed? Is that really you or the parasites? Like, what is it really you in control of your body?
Well, here's a better question for you. When you die, unless you have brain cancer or you get hit in the head with something, does anybody ever say, my brain died? Your brain usually doesn't die. It's the body that falls apart.
No.
And then within that, the brain falls apart. So that's, I mean, you hit the nail on the head, buddy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you might want to protect your gut, right?
Yes.
Because it's more important than your brain, because your brain's still alive when you're dead, buddy.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely. But yeah, in regards to
Great
Dr.
points,
Sebi,
though. Yeah.
yeah.
So he found interest in all of that, which I could see from him, because he was really on, before he passed, he was really on a like giving back. And when I say kick, I don't mean like front type of thing. I mean, you know, he was just on a giving back type time in his life, right?
Yeah. He had Usha Village, which is a place in Honduras where people could come and work with the herbs and fast and have the natural spring water, geothermal spring waters, which is like the best water to have, like straight from the earth and the rocks, which is where Tommy went. You know, that's the picture of Tommy there at Usha Village. And, you know, Tommy and Dr. Sebi actually became friends. You know, it's more than just a picture. They had plans of working closely together moving forward in Dr. Sebi's Bilingo Project, which was going to get healing centers all around the world. You know, so Tommy has quite a bit of stories with the man himself, but he was a great man, spreading truth, spreading truth.
Tommy didn't get taken out, right?
No, Tommy, I live with Tommy in Miami.
Okay.
I'm looking after him. You know, that's why I train jiu-jitsu, so nobody comes after my boy. But yeah, it's
So
it's
from what you've heard, what was so Nipsey Hussle dies, Sebi dies, same time?
So Dr. Sebi passed away in 2014, I believe. Yeah, 2014, and then Nipsey Hussle passed away, I think around like 2018 or 2019. So Nipsey Hussle was set to create this documentary about Dr. Sebi, the journey, the New York Supreme Court case. There's many interviews of him speaking about it. And that was in the works. Next thing you know, Nipsey Hussle is dead. You know, I think he got shot or something.
He got shot in a parking lot. It was just like a strip mall type of thing.
Yeah.
Not nowhere, broad daylight too.
Yeah.
So from what you've heard, where's the connection, possible foul play? I mean, I see the connection. Sebi dies. Nipsey was going to do a documentary on him. You know, kind of odd that they both die. Could have been coincidence. I don't know. But from what you heard through the grapevine, where do you tie the foul play into that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, across the board, it seems like the powers that be, whether it's the government, the elites, whatever you want to call it, they're always changing the narrative for what they want. You know, so when you go against that narrative, whatever it is, they want to take you out. You know, from everything, from musicians or great speakers. They always want to be able to be in control of the mass population. And when you have knowledge and information and wisdom that goes against that, they don't like that. So, you know, to me, it's only reasonable that they knew Dr. Sebi's teachings very well. They knew who he was, what he was doing, and they didn't like that.
And he just beat them.
Yeah, and he just beat them in the Supreme Court case.
Publicly.
And in terms of that getting out to the public with a documentary, of course they wouldn't want that, you know? And then for those with eyes to see and ears to hear, for me it's very clear. You know, it's a very clear thing to me.
So, in your opinion, his death was correlated with Dr. Sebi?
That's what resonates with me.
In your opinion?
Yeah.
That's interesting. It did seem kind of weird. Do you remember that?
Yep.
It seemed kind of weird because Nipsey Hussle really didn't have any enemies. Like, he wasn't battling with anybody. Actually, he was really laying low from rap.
Yeah, it was like a random.
And it wasn't like he was rolling up there in an Aventador or like 37 gold chains. Yeah. Like, there was no real reason to hit him. And I forget. Hey, can you Google what was the reasoning Nipsey Hussle got shot, just to see what they...
Yeah, I think they say it was like gang affiliation or something.
See, Eric Holder is the man accused of gunning down Victory Lap rapper and wounding two others in a brazen daylight ambush more than 2 years ago. Is due to face the jury. Jeez, are they waiting long?
You know, and the people who say there's nothing to this are the people drinking fluoride. You know, they're not questioning things in their life. You know, and I think that's important. Question the narrative. Question what you're being fed. Ask why something's taking place. You know, what are the underlying circumstances affecting this?
And that happened in California, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, you can go rob $900 worth of anything you want there and walk out. So I wouldn't.
I'd love to be in Miami right now. Florida is a great place to be.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Rob, with this whole Nipsey Hussle thing? I never knew that they really had a tight connection other than the documentary.
I don't know a lot about it, but I know that it was just random, apparently. Like one of those weird things that happened, right?
Yeah.
Dad, why did it happen? I don't know. I don't know the connection with Dr. Sebi or anything like that. But
well, from what you're saying,
understanding.
From what?
Yeah, I could see.
You could see that that's
I
possible.
could see a connection.
Yeah. See, I could see a possible connection because he comes out. Nipsey's pretty popular, not super popular, but could have made him even more popular because he was away from the rap. This comes out, people watch it. It could possibly change the narrative to what the uppers want. Just like they're trying to change the narrative with the false, as if gas is really $8 a gallon, right? We have gas here, we have oil here. It's just to push the green, you know that.
Yeah. It's that's why these platforms are tricky to navigate because there's a balance of sharing all the truth that you know, or at least your perspective and the teachings that you know, despite, you know, in a way we are very delicate and careful with what we say because we don't want to be deplatformed. And so sometimes we'd rather give you like 50% of it just for you to reach out to us and ask questions and dive deeper, rather than here's exactly what happened, posting all over social media and then losing my Instagram account and then I can't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
So there's a balance between it, and it's the fine line that we tightrope.
And the problem is right now there's no alternative. Where are you gonna go? The big thing is YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then after YouTube, I guess would be Facebook, Instagram. They kind of all fall in line, all censored, all are whatever is beneficial toward them. So where is there to go? Okay, you go to one of these other ones, then you're all right. If you go to another one, you're all left. So there's nowhere to go. I keep hoping that Apple comes out with something like that, because I don't think they would do that, because just the fact that they're, even though their phones are still made in China, but as if they're not putting something in them, but at least they're doing the best that they can, it seems, at least, where they're doing the ass knock to track and everything else. I think maybe if they came out with something, it would work. I don't think Amazon could hold a fight to YouTube or Facebook. The only one I think is Apple, just because of the ecosystem. What do you think?
Yeah, I could see that. I think Trump is creating his own social media. It's called like Truth, I think, or
yeah,
social
but then that's
something.
all right though. You need like a neutral, like a YouTube.
I think we need somebody that's new. So like a new innovation that like it's very clear. Like I feel like in 2 years it might be like a household name, something that comes to the surface that's like brand new, innovative, fair. I feel like we're on the verge of something like that taking place. So I think it's gonna come from somebody that's not a household name now. That's what resonates in what I feel like. But I think it's important to
have a lot of fucking money, whoever's going to do that.
Have a lot of money, for sure. For us, it helps to be on multiple platforms.
Yeah.
So having the YouTube, having the TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, like just spreading yourself out. So God forbid my Instagram goes down, you can still find me on YouTube, whatever.
And for now, to some extent, until there is something else, so that you can keep pushing a good message, a helpful, you kind of got to tiptoe.
Yeah.
I know, we all want to say what we want, but the way it is now, you just can't. Yeah. And if you do, you're going to lose your platform, and you don't know who you're helping and who you're not. You know what I mean? And just because you want to say everything you want, you don't have a choice. So it's not worth you risking, 12,000 people that might be holding on to every word you say because you want to say exactly what you want to say.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to come along. I think maybe with these Apple contacts that they just patented, and I'm sure they're years away. They'll let these other idiots screw them up, and then they'll come out. Because they're always the last, the bastards. But that might be because now you can pop in a contact, and you could be in a social media platform watching whatever, or be at a game. I don't know that would be a competition to YouTube, but I don't know. I'm just hoping something, or I hit the fucking lottery and have my own server and market the hell out of it, right?
The future is going to be really interesting. Whatever's taking place in terms of AR, VR.
Elon, where are you? You like Elon Musk?
I don't not like him,
Just an interesting individual.
Yeah.
So now you're the CEO of Sunray, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is all part of Sunray, and you implemented a lot of the plant diet, the plant living into it. So elaborate a little bit more about Sunray Wellness, how somebody can sign up, go to it, so on and so forth.
Yeah, for sure. So Sunray Wellness was created by my mentor, Tommy Lockwood. And, the story of the retreat, me being excited to go meet him and all that, I told him I would love to work with him. And I was still working at the gym at that time, and he was like, okay, like I see that you're committed to this process. I love your story, like my motivation behind my mom passing and wanting to share this knowledge. Everything was a good fit, and we hit it off. So I was slowly integrated in. I was helping him with some website work, taking calls here and there, and then I was integrated full time into this baby, Sunray Wellness, which our mission is to help guide people through wherever they're at on their health journey. If they're dealing with a specific disease, or they just want to feel better, lose weight, have healthier skin, we can help them regardless. So essentially we take people on detoxing, fasting protocols, working with herbs, plant medicines, coaching and guidance, along with these retreats that we host. And we're actually having a retreat here in Miami in November. It's going to be our first retreat back in like a year and a half. So I'm very excited for that. But for more information, you could go to my Instagram page, Kaizen with Tyler, or Tommy's Instagram page, which is Tommy Lockwood. Or you could go to tommylockwood.com.
Click on that, Rob.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So say somebody has, a little bit of depression, anxiety, ADHD, right? Which would they sign up for? Because I know about a pile of people with these issues.
For sure. So you would want to go to the free health strategy. But what I'll promote real quick is the Alkaline Nutrition Guide. That's a guide of the list that we essentially eat from primarily. So it's the fruits, vegetables, grains, essentially the lifestyle that we live. So this will be a great guide. You just put in your name, your email, you submit, and then we send over the guide to you completely free. But the free health strategy session is a video explaining the tips and tricks that you can implement, and then it leads to a call. So you'll be speaking with either Tommy or myself to assess where you're at, to give you some pointers, and ultimately to see if a program would be a good fit moving forward. And then from there is when we start to incorporate the one-on-one coaching, guidance, customized herbs, stuff like that.
Got it. So the first thing is you go to the site, you download the platform, basically. You put in your email, your name, now you got the download. Second step, you go through the sign up, kind of basically your issues, I guess, or what you want to make better. Yeah. And then you'll get a call from you or Tommy, and then you and Tommy will evaluate that situation and place you in whatever, strategic form is best for that individual, right?
Yeah, exactly. When you play the video, there's like a short presentation that Tommy gives, and if you go down, there's a scheduling link where you book the call.
Oh, okay.
And then, that call, we don't have to be giving free calls, but we do because we really want to help people and see them through. So we give a lot of energy in making sure that you're okay. Regardless of doing a program or not, we want to make sure you go away from that call.
Oh, there he is on, what is that?
Yeah, he went to... I think he was in the Dominican Republic or in Ecuador. Yeah.
Maybe that's Ecuador.
He's been all over, man. Tommy is an amazing guy, for sure.
Certainly. And you can always tell, like little thing, because I'm a coder by nature. Build web pages and code, not like bullshit code, like real code. You know what I mean? And whenever I see something like that where they'll allow somebody to make a free call, like an appointment, knowing that you're going to get a bunch of bullshit, like half of it's going to be bullshit. Yeah. To me, that tells me they're doing it for a good cause. Not just whatever the money is or whatever. There's heart behind it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
There definitely is.
I think it's really cool. And, nowadays, fuck the PCP. Sorry. Go to TommyLockwood.com and deal with my boy Tyler. Fuck your PCP. Fuck Big Pharma. They're just going to kill your ass anyway.
Yeah.
You got a better chance of living longer this way, right?
A lot of heart goes into it, and we really just want to help people,
Yeah, there's your Instagram. What do you got?
MetaToads. So MetaToads is an NFT project created by Rashad Evans,
I can't
UFC fighter.
I can't fight these NFTs to save my life.
If you go,
that is
go
a pretty
to the
cool
right,
shirt, though. Can I buy that shirt somewhere? Oh,
yeah,
fuck, that's bad.
That's cool.
So essentially, this
that's the coolest. We've had 4 NFT guys in here. That's the best one.
That's the one. I know.
Yeah, that's wild.
How do I get that?
So
can I get that made into something I could put on my desk?
We could do something cool.
Yeah, you can make me that.
Cool. Yeah,
that will move like that.
We'll figure it out. But essentially, the proceeds from this project is going to mental health awareness. So they're donating $50,000 off of the launch to go towards MAPS, which is essentially how people can use psychedelics to help with mental health awareness and mental health issues. So it's a project I deeply resonate with.
That's awesome. Fucking
it's really cool, man. The toads are dope.
Now, if somebody wants to help out with the project that you're doing, how do can they donate or get, like, I'm going to be texting your balls off to make me something. Can you make that into something like physical?
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to the team. We're gonna get something cool for you.
All right, yeah, I'll text you tonight what I
Yeah.
want, and then you could put it toward your cause.
Yeah,
you know,
that'd be great. It's
that's Rob. How cool would that be?
if you're interested, you can message me, or the MetaToads Instagram is just at MetaToads.
Type that in, Rob,
Really
so
cool
we can
project.
show. And if you're listening, can you spell that? Just
META Toads,
META Toads.
and I believe it's gang now. Yeah, gang. MetaToads gang.
And if you're listening, these are some real. We've had some NFTs on here, but these are.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the ones we saw were like 20 million, but that one I just saw is the best one I've seen.
I love my my avatar on Instagram is the guy with like a third eye
On middle
pulsating. I love it. That's my guy.
These are the coolest ones.
These are the cool,
Yeah.
right, Rob?
Yeah, I agree.
We went through all the Yakai. There's some Yakai NFT, 20 million, 30 million. The monkey,
Bored Ape.
Bored Ape. What's his name? Bubble, Beebles. Beebles,
Yeah.
all his. These are the coolest ones.
Yeah, and Rashad Evans is a super cool dude. I got to speak with him about his ayahuasca experience. So this is actually
Wow! Congratulations.
this was inspired by Rashad Evans' experience with Bufo, smoking the frog,
Yeah, Bufo
smoking
frog.
the toad.
Yeah,
Have you ever done that?
It's based off that. I've never done it.
I heard that's some crazy ass shit. You know who did that? Boziak.
I got a bunch of them in my yard. You can come and grab them. I got big bastards in my yard. Big fuckers.
No,
Big
because
Hey.
he'll tell you, some of them can kill you and some of them make you have a good time.
Yeah, you got to make sure, for sure.
They are mean bastards, man. They're big.
But yeah, it's inspired off that, you know, and psychedelics.
If you're
are
listening, you got to see these. It's METATOADSGANG in case you're retarded like me and can't say things right. And then these are really badass.
Yeah, they're cool.
Those are the best ones. I want that
love,
one.
I love the toads, man.
You're gonna be getting. That's the best one. That's so fucking badass.
The tribe is cool. There's a really nice community that we talk about real stuff. You know, a lot of these NFT projects, they just want to flip the bag, if you will. They want to get quick cash, and we're here to make an impact, to talk about mental health, to help somebody who's struggling in these times and build a community, you know? So we have some really cool ideas of like MetaToads meetups, where like if you have a MetaToad, you come to this MetaToad hangout where we're all together, potentially like MetaToads open mats, where if you have a MetaToad, you come, we all train Jiu Jitsu together or something.
That's
like
pretty cool.
Cool things.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you have those T-shirts for sale? In the works.
We do. Yeah, we do. I got
These
you
are-
on that as well, for
Yeah,
sure.
those are pretty badass too.
Those are cool.
These are the coolest NFT things I've seen.
Apollo and myself are moderators for this group. So we're like the head guys, just making sure everybody's coming together, being respectful in the Discord and the community. Yeah, so it's been a blessing, man. Apollo blessed me with that. He told me about the project. I joined the group and I took advantage of the opportunity again. Like when opportunity knocks, you need to go full force. Like I was in the group chat. I was in the question and answer. I asked Rashad Evans a question. I filmed it and I made it into a YouTube video, and the project loved my initiative for the project, set me as a moderator for it. So you just got to take action. Like just do it, man. Just do it.
Yeah, there's a guy named Dan Pena.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And, he calls everybody snowflakes. You fucking snowflake. He's the best. Have you ever watched him?
No.
Oh,
He's
my
funny,
God.
man.
He's fun. But he gets to you. He'll break you down, but he gets to you.
Yeah.
He was the billionaire man. Now he's the trillionaire man because and he proves it. This guy fought a bear with his hands. That's so crazy. He lives in a
Really?
castle. Yeah. He fought a bear with his bare hands. Went and got surgery after it, but he still did. Honest to God. But he really does. He has mentored people that have accumulated over $1 trillion. He only takes like 20 people 3 or 4 times a year to his castle, and he breaks you down the first couple of days because we'll film it.
Oh, I've heard about
So whatever
Yeah.
bad shit is happening in your life, say your mom died, he is going to bring up the fact that our mothers have died for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, make us cry, destroy us. Then the next day, whatever else bad has happened that hurts you, that bothers you, just beats you for 3 days.
It beats it out of you.
Then where you're like a stone, and then brings you back up.
Yeah.
And now you're like, he brings you back up like clean slate. And now this is how you're going to do shit. And he checks on you and he tells you you're a little pussy and everything else.
Yeah, he does.
And shit, look at the guys he's made.
Yeah.
I mean, they're monsters.
Yeah, he does it in a very intense way. You know, it's not everybody's style, but he gets results and he changes people, you know, so I respect that.
Yeah, I mean, for a guy like me, I need something like that. Maybe you 10 years ago, you know, if you didn't find this, you would need somebody like him to say, hey, Tyler, wake up.
Yeah,
Let's
that's what
go.
it takes sometimes,
you know?
For sure.
But I think it's really cool what you're doing. Another thing that I wanted to bring up to you, I was about to do it, and the medical director and he actually lived through cancer for 2.5 years, almost 3. He was supposed to die the day I met him.
Wow.
That was the day he was like, I'm dying at home. Long story. He ended up living almost 3 years. He was a Nobel Prize winner, ER doctor, whatever. And we were going to open up a ketamine clinic, and he was going to be the medical director because that does wonders if done correctly for depression.
Yeah, I've heard the same. I've never experienced ketamine, but from what I've heard from close friends is that it's healing and it helps them.
Yeah.
So,
but another that people don't know, that's actually a natural, when it's used correctly, it's actually natural. It's not like some chemist bullshit.
Yeah, doing things with intention and with the mindset of healing, you know, not to get high and go to this different place. Like if your intention and your goal is to heal and to use this in a sacred way, I'm all for it.
Absolutely. Because it can better your life and open your mind. And look what it did for you.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
Now, with your mind open like this, last thing, right?
Yeah.
How do you perceive what's going on in the world right now? Not politically. I don't even want to go down that road. I'm sure you don't either, right? Just what the fuck is going on? Just from somebody who's gotten their mind opened, you know, through this, which I think everybody should do it at some point in their life. I think they're missing out. And they won't value that. Well, like Sebi says and Guru says, you're missing your life. Like every second, me, you sitting here right now. Well, that's your heart's beating.
Yeah.
It's one beat less, one beat light. This is a timer. You're not taking time bomb, you know? So from your perspective, what do you see?
It's an opportunity to go within, to, you know, it might sound ignorant to say, but really just to focus on what you can focus on and just stay in your lane. Like for me, my life for the most part is work, Sunray Wellness, helping people along their journey. Tuesdays, Thursdays, I go to Jiu Jitsu and I check in on my family and my friends and I take care of myself. Like it's an opportunity to create who you want to be and to shut out the outside noise and distractions. Because a lot of it is, you know, a lot of this is like mental masturbation of like this, but that, and then this. But that's why I love Kaizen. Like I just go back to Kaizen. Like what are my goals? Who do I want to be in 10 years? And what do I need to do to get there? And just focus on that.
And what, I love it. I love it. And what made you, you know, it's one thing to have a belief like you do, but then to take it to the level to actually write a book. What made you want to go through that process?
Man,
did you realize the process that was?
Yeah, I was traveling in Colorado with Tommy's sister, and Devon and his fiance, wife. And I was just so inspired to be in Colorado and see the mountains and be in different scenery. And I was listening to Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn's one of my greatest mentors. I've gotten so much out of him. Jim Rohn, Your Best Life Ever. And I was listening to that and I just started crying of like how true everything he was saying was. I feel like he was giving that talk to speak to me, for me to put it into words now in today's day and age. And that just sparked something in me so deep. And I just started writing. I was like, what can I take from this? And how could I put it in my own style, my own unique way, and share it and make it cool? And so like, I think Kaizen sounds cool. It's cool to Kaizen your life. But it's a very deep practice. When really taken to heart, it can transform anybody. And
even if you only take parts of it, it can better you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? Now, when you wrote it, how many pages was it initially?
I'll be honest, it's a short book. It's like 60-something pages, but every word in it is very intentional. you know? So I read it so many times, making sure that one line is perfect after that next line. And then that one, whether it's a sentence or a comma or a period, and then like a pause, you know? So everything was very intelligent or intentional on it. But yeah, like 60 pages or so. And it stayed like 60 pages, but I changed a lot of it around throughout the process.
I actually would have bet 50. I just knew it because I knew, because I could see the way your mind works, that it would be straight and to the point.
Yeah.
Like not a lot of bullshit around it. So I would have guessed 50. I wasn't going to say 500 because I know guys that write books that, how many guys have we had in? How many pages was it initially? Oh, 2,000. You know what I mean?
And not to say there's anything wrong with that, but it's the TikTok age. Like, if I want a lot of people to read this book, and being honest with myself, it needs to be short, it needs to be quick, and something people could implement right away.
I hope you made it audio, or going to make it audio.
I'm in the
with that
process.
attention span, you need fucking audio, right?
I want it to be super digestible, and I want people to read it. I don't want people to spend hours reading it. Spend an hour or so reading it, finish it, and then incorporate it. You know, like actually take these teachings to heart and actually live it. That's what the work is.
When do you think you have the audiobook?
Within the next few months, definitely by the end of summer.
Because you know that's going to make all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
You know, just like we're talking about with the TikTok, they hold a book, maybe they read a couple pages one night and forget they even had it.
Yeah.
But you get the audio, it's there. You can, before bed, a couple, even if it's 10 minutes a night, you know, but you listen to it, okay, fell asleep, go back to it. Got to get that audio.
Yeah, it's coming.
Summer.
Yeah.
Got to get it quicker.
I know.
Can't you just speak into a fucking microphone?
Go ahead.
60 fucking pages. How long got it take? Put it the fuck in there and put it up on Amazon.
100%. I'm just so excited to release it and to get it out there and for people to just, I just really hope it helps somebody. If it helps just one person, I'm just like over the moon, like happy about it.
That's all. Because you could possibly save a life or have somebody live a better life, you know?
Yeah.
So when is everything going to come out? Can I get the book now?
I can send it to you. I have the PDF. I can send it
it's
over.
not out yet?
It's not technically out. I'm trying to figure out where to release it. We might just put it on like TommyLockwood.com and then like share it with our clients for free and stuff. But I'm in the process. But it's coming very, very soon.
You could have it out tomorrow if you put it on Amazon.
I could.
And they print it free, and then you can make it all Tyler perfect yourself.
Yeah, and I think if you go that route, you could get a blue check mark if you're like an authorized author.
There
so that's something.
Yeah.
Something as well.
That's
There's something there. Yeah.
So why don't you put it on Amazon and do the audio?
Yeah. I'm convinced now.
When are you going to do it?
Tonight.
I gotta push this guy. All right, so tonight at 11, you're going to have it out.
Yeah, it's releasing tonight at midnight.
I don't believe that.
No, it's going to take some time, but it'll be there soon.
Okay, so next week it will be out.
I can make that happen.
All right, do it. So when I put this the fuck out, it's out to buy.
Yes, 100%.
I'll keep pushing him.
Buy my book, Kaizen Your Life. It's out now. If you're listening to this.
Yeah, it's out now, and he's also making me my alien-looking guy into physical form.
Yes.
Expedited purchase, please.
The Toad.
Absolutely.
All right, so get the book out, Tyler, and then come back in. You know, in Miami, and then we can really push the book and then get really into the universe. Because I don't want to kill people. You know what I mean? All at once. So come back and then we'll do the universe because I got a lot of brain picking. Go to Rob.
I got to find that tea.
The what?
The tea.
That ayahuasca tea?
Yeah.
We got you.
Yeah.
We'll talk after.
Ayahuasca.
Yeah.
It just has a cool name to it, too.
I love how you spelled it on the initial.
Iowa. I think I spelled
Ayahuasca. I love
Ayahuasca, yeah.
And just going out, his Instagram is KAIZEN with Tyler, just to make it simple.
Yep.
And www.TommyLockwood.com, and we'll have all this in the description. And anything else Tyler wants me to put in, anything in closing other than the book and audio will be out very, very soon, if not out already. And my thing is getting made.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a pleasure, privilege to be here. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
I hope whoever was listening was able to take a little bit out of this and have it impact them in a helpful way, positive way. That's the intention behind everything I do and everything I share. So yeah, stay in touch, stay in contact. If you want to talk to me, you could always shoot me a DM. I'm always available. So thank you again.
Thank you. And when all this is out, make sure, even if it's a couple weeks, you gotta hit me up, come back.
For sure.
And I am getting that thing.
I got you.
All right, buddy. Thank you very much, Tyler.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.